Here we go. Put that out. Let's go. We already got people coming in. Beauty. Let's go. All right. We got to tweet it out. We're good. Take my sip of water. Feeling good. Feeling great on this Friday. Let's go. What's going on, Omi Queen, Mark, Eric, Legacy, Cryptocurrency Scarface, Kaser, 3G, Cray Mountain. What's going on, guys and girls? Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll let a couple more people stream in. Obviously, this was not announced. It was just something that I saw pop up on the phone. So figured we'd go live. And I haven't actually looked at it yet. I'll be honest. I saw it came out and I immediately ran down to my basement. I was like, I gotta get this live for the homies. So we're gonna get some people in here and then we're gonna go over it together. And I'm curious to hear all your guys' thoughts. And we'll see kind of, they always take community feedback. So let's see what comes of it. Brendan Z says, I love version 0.2. Well, you're cheating. You're not supposed to look at it yet. We're going over it live together. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's awesome. D-Train, what's going on, man? Maxwell, good to see you as always. Drizzy, thank you so much. Bean Tech. Kurt, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Wabba, thank you so much. I appreciate that. David, how you doing? I can't read your name, unfortunately, and I don't want to butcher it. But thank you so much for saying hey. I appreciate that. Goran says there's an article. Yeah, so the article's out on my screen right now. So this is the article itself. I'm going to wait until we get a couple more people in here. I know people are... Version 69 is the best. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. That's good. That's good. So we're going to go over it. I'm going to give people like 2 more minutes to come in, and then we're gonna go over it. It's an 11-minute read. I probably won't read through everything if some of the stuff is exactly the same as the last time. Obviously, I did this live last time the first article came out as well, but obviously the big thing is going to be going over what any of the changes are, and then we can see kind of how it plays into the kind of the macro of the program itself. So it's going to be interesting to see it all come together. So let me just pin that I'm live on Twitter because I don't know how to social to save my life. And put that there. Beauty. Beauty. Shocking development. That's because it's Russian. Yeah, exactly. And I can't read Russian, and I'm not gonna butcher it because you'd take it as an insult, and I wouldn't blame you. So for sure. Equinox says, hey man, did you pull a comic today? Got a mint 3501, just waiting for delivery. Nice, man. Congratulations. I got a uncommon, and it was in like the 15,000-ish range. So, I mean, no complaints, obviously. Being able to land anything on a drop nowadays is better than nothing. So yeah, I'm happy with that. But yeah, congratulations. That's hopefully it's a good addition type for you. That'd be awesome. So, Nick, beauty. That's a lot easier. I can definitely make that one work. Manoj says, can I use VV app from India? Guys, can you help me out in the chat? I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. I don't know if there's any geo restrictions for using the app anywhere right now, to be honest with you. I want to say that there's not. If anyone knows any different, obviously let me know. But I'm fairly confident you could use the app pretty much anywhere. Now, there are geo restrictions to the type of drops that you can get on drop for licensing, but I'm pretty sure you can buy anything in the secondary market. Andrew, what's going on, man? Congratulations on hitting 1,000 subs, man. For those of you guys that don't know, Andrew Ellis produces VV and Akomi content. He's got a YouTube channel as well, and he just hit 1,000 subs. So congratulations to him for doing that. Luke, thank you for the support as always, brother. Good to see you in the chat. Kurt, it has been a long time, man. I know it's been It's been crazy. I got some stuff brewing in the background that I think you guys are going to be excited about. I've just been doing that, and it's been ostracizing a little bit of my time. But obviously, anytime that I can come on and interact with you guys and hang out and whatever, it's always fun. So I would like to do that a little bit more. VV Vault in the house. What's going on, VV Vault? I'm glad you think they're looking great. I'm actually going to, we got a decent chunk of people in here. I might start now, and then if we have to recap anything at any point, if anyone has any questions or misses anything that's too crazy, we'll go over that at that point. Brendan Z says, I'm in India, all good over here. So there's your answer. So yes, you can use the app in India, which is fantastic. 3GP Media, token versus collectible. I'm not sure what that's in relation to. Like, are you saying which one is better? Or let me know, and we can definitely talk about that at some point. But Kurt, thank you so much for the congratulations on 4K followers. It's been crazy, man. I can't believe it. Like I said, I put out a tweet earlier today, and it's only been about 12 days since I was at 3K. I just don't know what to do with all of, like, I'm just a basic dude. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to have all this support, and I very much appreciate, all of the support that I've gotten on the channel. So thank you so much for that. Eric's token. Yeah. I mean, I definitely got, I got a couple Omi tokens laying around. So I definitely like the token, but I will be doing a vault video at some point, hopefully in the next week. And my vault is, it's not looking too bad either. So, I don't know if you can diversify within a project, but if that counts, then I am fairly well diversified. So Edward, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Dan Schwabel making an appearance in the chat. I appreciate that. Except the Akomi team. Yeah, well, Get me a job with the team, and then it basically counts as the same thing. Eric, yes, I agree. Everyone should smash the like button. I appreciate that. What should I prefer for ROI? I'll let you know after I read this article. We'll see what goes on. So, okay. All right. Wubba Wubba's putting in spoilers in the chat. Okay. I'm going to get started because I don't want... No spoilers. Be good. Thank you, VV Vault. I appreciate that, brother. All right. So, guys. So, once again, I want to make it clear that I haven't looked at this at all, right? This came out... 15 minutes ago now, but the second I saw it posted on my phone, I didn't read it. I immediately came down to my computer and was like, hey, I need to get this live for the homies. So thank you very much, Michael Anderson, for the donation. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a basic dude. You know it. For those of you that do not know, Michael Anderson is a IRL friend. He likes to troll me sometimes on streams and stuff. He's a good dude though. And hey, he's buying me lunch today with that donation. So joke's on him at the end of the day, but I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you so much, man. All right, guys. So Master Collector Program, just to go over it for those of you, because I know a lot of people are new to my channel and may not have seen it when it came out the first time. So just a quick overview. So the Master Collector Program is a new loyalty program available to all users, designed to reward active VV collectors. Through the MCP, collectors can level up by being an active VV collector, completing objectives, all while gaining benefits and rewards in a quest to reach the highest level of Master Collector. So, with all of that said, because I know one or two people gave me a load of flack last time because they said, you're just reading off the screen. I will read certain things because it's also important to remember not everyone's staring at their phone the whole time while this conversation is going on. So I like to read some of the highlights, and then of course we'll break it down. We'll take comments from the community, get the feedback, and I'm hoping that we can compile a list of anything that you guys like, anything that you're concerned about. And then of course I will do my best to participate in the AMA this evening. And if there's anything that is glaring or a concern to you guys, let me know and I will look at bringing it up with the team. It's obviously going to be a discussion tonight. They brought up that they will be discussing it, so we'll see what we can come up with and go from there. So yeah, so for those of you guys that didn't know, the MCP is going to be free for everyone. So you're automatically enrolled in the Master Collector Program if you have an account with VV. So there's no pay wall or anything like that, but obviously there will be some benefits to the different things that are going into it. So a summary of the changes from MCP V0.1 to V0.2 can be seen here. I don't know if we're supposed to click on that first. Maybe I will click on that first and we'll see the major revisions, and then that way we can see, because this just might be what they've outlined is the new article, but then they're actually highlighting the changes here. I mentioned this in my last stream and a couple of people still made life-altering decisions based on it, so I will reiterate it one more time. It is a work in progress, right? So This is a second revision of the various elements of the MCP. Details are subject to change based on development and feedback. I think that's important to remember because I have a feeling, and once again, no inside knowledge or anything, but I have a feeling we're going to get a sneak peek on the OMI utility program article come out tonight during the AMA. And I have a feeling it's going to be released tomorrow. I have that gut feeling that that's going to happen. Because I don't know why they do the AMA on the Friday instead of the Thursday. And I just feel like we know that the article is ready. Reese said it with his interview with Taps Trades at Decon, and we know that it's ready. They just need to hit publish on it. So I feel like they're at the point now where it makes sense to roll out these additions. And I know that people are going to go crazy. They're going to either buy a bunch of OMI or sell a bunch of OMI based on the information. Remember that it's a first iteration of this, and don't do anything crazy. Like Ludwig says, not gonna lie, I bought a bunch of secret rare comics after the first MCP article posted and prices tanked. You know what I mean? It's you try and time these things, and it's difficult for sure. Ole, smells fun. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys. So yeah, let's see what the revision notes are on the changes. Oh, this is only a 2-minute read. Okay, so this is much more manageable. So they obviously appreciate the input and feedback that came in on the first iteration that was released. They've taken that feedback, and here are the changes that they've made. So here we go. So revision notes. So this is as of yesterday. I wonder if this was the announcement. I know Cavell Anderson put out a tweet last night that they were going to make an announcement for something, I don't know what, but then they didn't get a chance to do it because they got busy. I'm wondering if this is what they were going to put out yesterday and then it got pushed to today. I'm not sure. I don't know if anyone has any insight on that. I think David Yu was speaking in a clubhouse last night. Unfortunately, I didn't hear about it until about 45 minutes after it started, and I ended up missing him talking. But if anyone knows what that might have been about or what Cavell was referencing, let me know. All right, let's see. Main updates in V0.2. I kind of like that they did a 0.2 and not like a 1.0 and then a 2.0 because it really feels like this to me really shows like this is in its infancy, right? Like be prepared. We're not at the level that we're ready to release it at. So that's good. So the main updates that they focused on was the drop lottery, set points, collectible secret rare points. Okay. Comics points, comic series points, and point limitations. Trying to think off the top of my head if there was anything else that was glaring that the community was concerned about that's not included in here. The only thing I can think of was drop lottery points. That was the main one, but it seems like they focused on that. And then obviously some people were upset about the secret rares not getting some love. So let's see what they have here. So drop raffle, the Master Collector Program drop lottery is now the Master Collector Program drop raffle. Okay, I see what they're doing here. I'm already getting it. Instead of bidding individual points, collectors will now purchase drop raffle tickets with their points. Drop raffle win probability will increase with the number of raffle tickets purchased. Additionally, any collector who is not successful in the drop raffle will have their points returned. Interesting. Okay, so when I was halfway through reading that, I was like, okay, this makes sense. It's like a 50-50 draw. You buy in relative to your means, and then they pool all those points for reward. Like, you go to a hockey game or a basketball game, they do a 50-50 draw, and you buy the tickets, and then if you win, you get, half of that pool, and then the other half goes to whatever. But it's interesting. They're saying here, if you're not successful in the drop raffle, you'll have your points returned. Interesting. Giovanni, what's going on? Thank you so much for the donation. 75,000 buy order at 0.0071 and a 615K sell order at 7.2. Who will crumble first? Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. Timeout. Technical on the court. What is going on? A 615,000 US dollar? Oh my Lord. Okay. That's absurd. Wow, I didn't even realize we had this price spike. Guys, I'll be honest, I haven't really been watching the price of the OMI token right now, but that's crazy. Actually, our volume's up quite a bit. We've only been about $3 or $4 million a day, and now that's crazy. What is that? That's That's crazy. Yeah, it's a 7% jump. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of volatility going on right now. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the OMI utility article is coming out tonight. I feel like some people know something that we don't. I feel like this person, and this is obviously not financial advice, this is just me speculating, but I just feel like this person is trying to suppress the price movement to keep it low so that they can buy in at a lower price because they're getting ready to pump when the OUP article comes out tonight. That's my guess. But anyways, I'm not a financial advisor, so I digress. So interesting. So the drop raffle, it's interesting that you get all of your points back if you're not successful. I would have expected it to be like a percentage, maybe you get 50%, or because it's a raffle, if I only want to raffle 1 point, I can, or whatever. Or let's say every 100 points is 1 ticket, right? And then if I bid 1,000 points, I get 10 tickets. Like, I would have thought it would have been something like that. I don't know why you'd get all of your points back. Like, to me, that's like, it went from you get none of your points back to all of your points back. I feel like they're kind of just doing the opposite now. They went too far to one extreme, and now they're going completely too far to another extreme, because at the end of the day, your points expire after 6 months. So if I can just constantly bid all of my points every week, every 6 months, that, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Dan, exactly. They're trying to keep the price low. It's a whale maneuver. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that's exactly what's happening with the price of the token. I think they're just trying to keep the price suppressed so that they can load up more, because they know that a big catalyst is coming that's about to explode the price. I haven't seen an 85 million sell wall in a long time. Like, whales, although we're annoyed by them, they're not stupid when it comes to money. If they're putting up a sell wall like that, it's because they believe it's advantageous to them. They're not dumping the token. They're trying to suppress the upward momentum. So I think that that's a positive catalyst. And I think in the next 24 hours, like I said, I think we're going to see that OUP article. And yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. So, okay, so that's my thoughts on the drop raffle. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section as well. To me, this seems like an over exaggeration from going from one side to the other. I don't know that we need all of the points returned, because then people are just going to accrue a silly amount of points. I don't know how I feel about that. But anyways, set points have been slightly reduced from a maximum of 6 points to 5 points. Okay, so for those of you that didn't know, in the original MCP version 0.1, if you had a collectible set with 5 or more collectibles, you were getting 6 points for completing that set. And essentially, if you had 1 collectible is 1.5 points, 2 collectibles is 2.5 points, and so on. So they're reducing that because they feel like it gives an advantage to those that have collectibles and sets track compared to those just collecting comics, for example. So I think one of the reasons, what we saw when Article 0.1 came out is like the Kripkins and the Myrmicornos that had like 11 pieces that completed a set, they exploded in value. Like, the prices of them just went astronomically high because people realized you get points for holding the collectibles, you get points for completing the set, and it gave you the most points. So people were just artificially inflating some of the collectibles that didn't necessarily have as much value outside of MCP. So I like that they're still trying to focus on collect the sets that you enjoy collecting, but we'll see how that number integrates to the rest of the program because I'm not sure what the balance is on that yet. So we'll see. Collectible points, secret rare. We recognize the value and effort required to obtain a collectible secret rare. Non-comic. Okay, interesting. Okay. Unless you are lucky enough to score 1 on a drop. As such, points for collectible secret rares have been increased from 0.5 points to 5 points. That's crazy. A 10x. So now holding a lucky, which is a secret rare, which is a 1 of 1 completes a set, is as valuable as, well, it's not technically as valuable because the Spider-Man set has a secret rare in it. I'm just trying to think of another set that doesn't have a secret rare that's like 6 or 7 long. It's more valuable to hold a lucky than it is to hold the entire DC Cover Girls collection. Because I'd get 1 point for holding the collectible and 5 points for having the secret rare, and then I would also get 1.5 points for completing the set. That's crazy. Wow. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, let me read a couple comments here because I haven't forgotten about you guys. Interesting. Stanley, OUP is the OMI utility program. There's two separate tracks, so I don't know how familiar you are with the project, but there's the OMI token and there's VV collectibles. The OMI utility program will focus on giving incentives to stake the OMI token. If you're not sure what that is, I have some videos on my channel and I can link those to you afterwards. Points are returned to you. It's a bit weird. Like you just keep bidding everything you have on every drop, or that you just keep all the point if you win one. Yeah, like I'm not really sure how I feel about that, Goran. Like it doesn't make sense to keep all of your points. Like that to me just seems a little weird. And Mark, I agree with the price. We haven't seen anything yet. Ludwig, Walt price is tanking 7.8K right now. Oh wow. That is an overcorrection. I completely agree. That'll go right back up. I mean, if you're in a buyer's market, I personally think that's a great time to pick up a Walt. I wouldn't sell a Walt at 7.8K right now and take it from someone that has made some pretty silly decisions when it comes to selling collectibles. Secret rare comics go from a 1.5x common to 24x. Yeah, it's that's interesting. That's very interesting. VR Landlord, we haven't gotten that far down in the article yet, and we will get down there. So we'll check that out. VV Vault, people selling Waltz to buy secret rares. I agree with you. That, to me, you just created a 10x value for holding secret rares. And now holding a secret rare that completes a set, like I haven't even looked, but someone go check Lucky. Like straight up, I own a Lucky. I'm not pumping Lucky, but I'm just letting you know, because it's a secret rare, because it completes a set, you get so many points from that now. So just, it's subject to change. I'm not saying to FOMO into a Lucky if you don't own one, but I'm just saying collectibles like that, I could see definitely increasing quite a bit in value because of that. Because that is, and not to say that's not warranted, but the other thing is that you guys need to remember is, not all secret rares are created equal. As a perfect example, the secret rare Labracorn that was given out for the Gemgate error for Comic-Con has 3,300 editions. It has the most editions out of everyone in the set. That is now worth way more than it probably should be, but it was given the SR tag because they had to fit it into the drop. Whereas a Lucky that only has 1,000 editions, or a Spider-Man Secret Rare Ultimate Animate that only has 1,000 editions, like they're not all built equal as secret rares. But I get that if you give that a tag, you gotta give it the value. So Dan Schwabel says secret rares are pumping hard right now. Yeah, man. They do deserve some love for sure. I completely agree. And remember, at the end of the day, and I know that some of the collectibles, it sounds like, Justin says, imagine buying Walt at 14K. In 6 months, buying Walt at 14K is still going to be a good purchase in my opinion. But right now, it definitely stings if it's dropped half. Like, I completely get that. I bought the Iron Man, the Disney drop, for $540, and it went down to $280. And it stung that I did it, but look at the price of it now, right? So, like, it's about perspective. Like, zoom out, yes, it hurts, but at the same time, there's a reason for it. So, Justin, everyone give the app a 5-star on your story. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the app, make sure that you are giving it a 5-star rating if you're enjoying it. Obviously, if you don't enjoy it, that's totally fine as well. But make sure that you're giving it some love. VV Vault, I own Deadpool and Ultimates, Fantastic Four Secret Rares. Let's go, man. I mean, the Fantastic Four Secret Rares are already going to be worth a lot of money, but yeah, if they want to give it even more value. I'm actually curious because I have the Secret Rare Spider-Man ASM #1 comic. I wonder if that'll pump a little bit as well, because it's a part of the Holy Trinity with Marvel Comics #1 and Fantastic Four. So it'll be interesting. Hooverville Labbit Secret Rare is at 8:30 and rising. It was $450 during Disney Week. Young Money, welcome to the Omi fan. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. All right, we'll continue on with that. Okay, so interesting. So 5 points. That to me seems, once again, I don't want to say that it's an overextension, but it seems like with both of these, they've gone, set points is fine, but drop raffle, they've gone from one extreme to another. And now collectible points for secret rares, they've gone from one to the other, right? And I don't worry that, like, I worry if people are going to want to collect common and uncommons now. Like, did you just completely write off the value of commons and uncommons by doing this? Because inherently the value in owning a secret rare is its exclusivity, its rarity, and the value that comes with that, versus if you just make it about the fact that it's worth a ton of points. Even more so now, it becomes only whales can afford to buy these things in the secondary market, because now whales can collect fewer things but collect more expensive things, and it creates kind of, I don't know if it creates an imbalance. We'll have to look at the rest of it. Collectible points low mint bonus. I think someone asked about this in the chat for the 150. I didn't forget about you, or maybe I did. I don't know. Someone asked about that. They said I didn't see about the 150 in the thing. The low mint collectible bonus has been updated from sub 150 to sub 300. Huh. Okay. I like that. Shout out to Crypto Casio. If you don't follow her on Twitter, you guys should. OG in the community puts a lot of interesting insight out. She actually mocked up a linear graph for mint number relative to point value. Because the other issue with this is, as a perfect example, Marvel Mighties, right? The Eternals, 109,000 editions. A sub 300 Marvel Mighty that was $13 in the store, maybe $100 or something, right? But if I want to get a sub 300 Rizzo or a Donnie that only has 150 editions, like, what's the incentive? Like, the problem with a cutoff of a very specific number is that you don't incentivize. What's my incentive to collect a 301 now? Like, why is a 301 suddenly not at all valuable, right? Like, when you create definitive cutoffs, you're not creating value for anything below that cutoff. Whereas if you make it like a relative, like a tier scale, then, you know, maybe sub 150, you get a full point. 150 to 300, you get 0.9 of a point. 300 to 450, you get 0.8 of a point. So on and so forth to go down. But with this, it's like, all that they've done is they've said, hey, 151 used to not be valuable. Now 301 is not valuable. So I don't know that that actually fixes anything. You're just pushing the problem on to the next person. And shout out to Randy Chavez. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting watch. The community is definitely going to give a lot of feedback, and I think it's going to be good for the AMA tonight. But those are I don't know how I feel about that either. And once again, I'm trying to be as critical as possible because we obviously want to see the best program possible, right? So if you guys have different thoughts or you're not sure about anything, let me know. But I don't, like, to me, this is just pushing the problem on to the next person. Like, if I own a 301, it's like, darn, you know what I mean? Or if I bought if I bought a 140 because I thought it was going to be valuable because that was the cutoff, well, now it's probably not that much more valuable than a 280. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Comics points daily. We acknowledge the MCP version 0.1 comic points were not as balanced as they could have been for collectors who focus on collecting comics. I agree with that. As such, the comic points have been revised. For example, collectors who now get 0.25 points for a common and up to collectors will now get 0.25 points for a common and up to 6 points for a secret rare comic. Okay. I like that. Secret rare comics really are the holy grail. We're never probably going to have more than 1,000 editions or 1,200 editions of a secret rare comic. They're really coveted, and in the collector space, comics do have a lot of value. So I agree that there should be more points for a secret rare comic. And similarly, how this is a tiered system, right? You start at 0.25 and work your way up in whatever fashion that they do. It should be the same thing with the low mint bonus. Like, work your way down in a linear thing. Like, I don't like these hard cutoffs. So I like what they've done with the daily points for sure. Not you, I completely agree. Omi will melt faces, and that people should hit the like button if they can. Brendan Z grabbed a common of the Fantastic Four series bonus. Smart. That's a good. Derek, Todd is a great long-term hold. For those of you that don't know, the Todd McFarlane number 100 Batman was the first collectible ever minted on VV. So for that reason alone, I believe that it'll be blue chip. I picked one up in May for $325. And last time I checked, they were sitting at about 2.4K. So I think that they will easily hit over $10,000 in a few years, assuming that the app continues to be successful. Cray Mountain, yeah, Cassio was great. Absolute was an asset for the community. I haven't seen her as much, but she's great. Adam, yeah, different levels I thought would work too. 6 points for the secret rare. It's interesting. Evan, doesn't 6 seem a little bit too high compared to the rest? I mean, that's relative, right? Like, we haven't looked at the entire program yet. So what you need to remember is that based on MCP version 0.1, the first collectible that you own, regardless of what, if it's a $7 collectible, if it's a $7,000 collectible, you would earn 1 point, and then there was multipliers. Like if it was a rare, ultra rare, or secret rare, you earn more points if it completed a set. But regardless, if you own duplicates of a specific collectible, it goes down. So the first one you get 1 point, and then it was like 0.65 points, and then 0.35 points, and then 0.1 points for every collectible beyond that. I'm going off of memory, guys, so that might not be the exact, but it was relative. So what they're doing now, because you only got an extra 0.5 points for a secret rare, so I could essentially purchase 2 commons in the marketplace for $15, and they were worth more than a secret rare comic for points, which was undervaluing the secret rare because there might be 48,000 commons and only 600 secret rares. So, I mean, the difference between that is like an 80x. Why would the point difference be equal or even greater than for the common? So I haven't looked at the full program yet, so I'm not going to say definitively, yes, it is too high. It did kind of jump off the page to me. I was like, oh, wow, 6 is a lot. But remember, comics are not very common. And if you don't get the secret rare comic on the drop, I mean, if people slept on the $500 or $600 secret rare comics that were on the market, that was their choice. I don't imagine that they're $500 or $600 anymore, but we'll explore the article further. Mark says really sucks for people that don't care about comics. That's for sure. I don't know that it sucks for people that don't care about comics, because if you don't care about comics, you're also not going to be spending. Like, if you don't care about comics, you're not giving me $10,000 to buy my ASM #1 off of me, right? Like, you don't care about comics. You don't care about how many points it gives you. You'd rather spend that $10,000. And for $10,000 on the app, you can buy far more collectibles that would be worth more than those 6 points that comic dropped. You have to remember, if you land these collectibles on drop, they will always give you an inherent infinite advantage over if you have to buy them in the secondary marketplace, right? Because you're buying them for the cheapest that they'll ever be. And that is when the points per dollar is going to always be the most valuable. So I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, like I said, my secret rare lucky, which also gives you the same amount of points as a comic, because a comic in and of itself doesn't complete a set, whereas you get the point bonus for completing a set with lucky, and it's a secret rare. It's about the same, and you could buy a lucky for a third of what you could buy my comic off of. So it's relative. It's like what is your fandom to collect? Whales will always likely have the most points because they have the most money. But at the same time, if you were lucky enough to score a secret rare on the drop, maybe it incentivizes you to hold it a little bit longer. Now that you're holding it longer, there's less on the market. The prices of them increase because of this. And then when you do in turn sell it, you actually get more money for it. So it's very unique, right? Like, there's a lot of factors that go into it. So at face value, I agree with you. Maybe, but we'll continue to explore it. Omi Child, what's going on? I sold both my Todds at the 400 range. Brendan, don't even get me started on the mistakes that I've made on selling. It's completely good. Marcus says if they continue to drop 2 comics a week, this has skewed the points too far to comics now. I'm sure version 3 will get the happy balance. I mean, maybe, but once again, there's only, a maximum of 1,200 secret rare comics that are dropped a week, and they're $7, right? So if you want to participate in a $7 lottery twice a week to try and get a secret rare, you're more than welcome to do so. Because it's blind box, it's not like it affords any inherent benefit to anyone that is competing over anyone else. So I have the same chance as a millionaire at landing on the drop a secret rare. And then if it immediately goes up to $5,000 or $10,000, I mean, if someone wants to, like, if you're like $5,000 to $10,000 can be life-changing money for someone. So if some average person gets that and then a whale wants to buy it off of them and they get an additional incentive is a little bit more points. I mean, whales are going to spend the most money for collectibles regardless. So I don't know that it necessarily gives them a huge advantage because once again, it's a blind box, right? So no one person is getting an advantage over any other person to land the secret rare in the first place. So I do like that. But Mark says they're going to be 10x as many secret rare comics than any other IP secret rare combined, and they're going to reward the comics even more. Once again, like I said, comics are a separate fandom. I hear what you guys are saying. Myself have said already, I think that it's a little bit of an overdone that they went from it. But I haven't seen the breakdown yet, right? Like we're basically at the end of the article now. Let's go see what the breakdowns are for the ultra rares and the rare. Because if a rare gives you 3 points and a rare is only going to be $100 in the marketplace, you're not really that disenfranchised, right? And huge shout out, Real Talk. Thank you for the donation. Is there a timeline for appraisal feature functionality? I do believe that Dan said that was going to be coming with the next iteration of the app update. I don't think that it came in this one, or at least I didn't notice a change in it, but they are aware of the problem and they are looking at addressing it. I think it was an issue with their backend API. I would imagine that once the migration to Immutable occurs, we will see some improvement with that, and we will go from there. Also, thank you so much, guys. There's over 100 people in the chat right now. I really appreciate it. I know it's Friday randomly at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I know it's tough sometimes, a lot of you guys might be at work or whatever the case may be. So thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate that. Good morning, Gary. Good to see you as always. All right, let's see. Mohammed's calling me out. All right, call me out, brother. Let's see. Your calculation comparing Lucky versus Cover Girls is off. Lucky equals 1 point plus 1 point set bonus. The set bonus for Cover Girl will be 4 points. It's actually done in quite a smart way. So is the set bonus only 1 point? Because you get 1 point for holding the collectible and 1.5 points for completing the set. Unless they changed that and they lowered it down to 1 point. Either way, I'd get 7 points for holding the Lucky. And the set bonus for the Cover Girls, like you said, would be 4 points. It'd be 8 points. So it'd be 7 versus 8 points. I'm not saying that it's not balanced. I think it is done in quite a smart way. I'm just saying relatively you are incentivized to hold secret rares that are cheaper than some sets that may cost more to complete. DC Cover Girls probably isn't a great example because it's cheaper to buy the entire set of DC Cover Girls than it is to buy Lucky. But once again, the scarcity of owning a Lucky, only 1,000 people can own it. So that is a consideration that needs to be taken in as well. Dragon Girl just shot up. Wubba Wubba says you can actually earn more points using the same money from Secret Rare to buy Ultra Rare and Rares. And that's the same thing, right? Like we haven't looked at all the calculations. I'm going to get into it in a minute, right? But I would imagine that you're still able to purchase cheaper collectibles and comics en masse, and they'll still be worth more than an SR relative to the amount of money that you spent. Like at the end of the day, people look at it and they go, oh my God, 6 points for a secret rare. But once again, how much are you getting that secret rare for? If you get it in the drop, then you're lucky, but everyone is going for a $7 comic in the drop. And if you're not going for a $7 comic in the drop because you don't care about comics, well, that's fine. But once again, why would you not go for a $7 comic that if you land is almost guaranteed to net you at least what you paid for it and give you a free shot at getting a secret rare? Like, I don't know that I agree with that necessarily. Like, I go for every comic drop. I haven't read a single comic book that I own, and I own over 100 comics on the app because I understand the value in them. I don't care about them, which is totally fine. Some people might, but I don't know that it's necessarily an imbalance. We'll look at the numbers in a second. And Dan Schwabella says, Foster, remember to say that these points aren't everything. That was a key point you told me. I did tell you that. Dan and I have had some very spirited talks over the last couple of weeks. It's been an honor to get to know him. Tyler Rainey, thank you so much for joining the OnlyFam. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's been great to talk with Dan, and great asset to the community. For those of you that don't know, he has an interview coming out with Gary Vaynerchuk on Monday. Definitely recommend that you guys check it out. Dan has his own YouTube channel. Make sure you go and subscribe to it. It's going to be crazy. It's his 6th interview with Gary. I don't know what is necessarily in it, but I know that it's going to be a banger, so make sure that you guys check it out. Not you. I'll read one more comment, then we'll go back to this. People need to realize the point of all this is to collect what you love. The MCP is just a bonus. If you chase after MCP points, you're missing out on the whole point of all this. I completely agree. Not you sums it up better than I probably could have done. Like, honestly, that's exactly it, right? Like if you're doing this just to get more points than the next person, then you're not going about it the right way, in my opinion. Like if that's your goal, that's totally fine. But like collect what you enjoy. Like VV is going to be doing within a year, probably multiple drops every single day. Like they're going to take over this space even more so than they already have. You're not going to be able to collect everything. That's just a fact. Just like over decon weekend. I don't know how many of you went for 16 drops, but it's just not feasible. Like you can't, I don't know how many people have the money to do that, for one, and B, have the time to do it either. Like I just set aside pretty much my whole weekend to do it. Like I don't want to do that every single day. I want to still be able to live my life, right? So points are great and they add some incentive to collect. But once again, the points really just allow you to enter a raffle to give you a chance at landing one collectible in a drop. That's it. And not to say that that's not a cool feature. It's a cool feature. But people are like, they're giving up thousands of dollars and selling like valuable pieces that are going to be worth so much money one day because they want to get access to one drop that they're probably going to get beaten out on anyways because it's a raffle. So like, I think people are kind of putting a little too much emphasis on the amount of points, and we should really just be grateful that they're adding in this program to begin with. There's really no obligation for them to do any of this. They could have just let us continue to collect and make a bunch of money off of us. Like they don't make any money off of any of this, right? Like they're dedicating effort and resources and time to further engage collectors and make it a more enjoyable experience. And they're not making any money off of it. So, we'll give them our feedback, but to kind of just be super upset about one thing over the other, like it's all relative at the end of the day. I think once it rolls out, we're not even going to really realize. So comic points low mint bonus, comic low mint points plus 0.5 points earned for the 5% lowest mint comic available to the public. See, even this 5% lowest, but up here, where is it? They do this. They have like an arbitrary cutoff, which doesn't make any sense because set sizes are so different. Can someone note this down, please? Can someone write this down so that I can remember it for like, it makes no sense. Like this makes so much more sense. 5 lowest percent. Or for collectible drops, if you want to do the 10 lowest percent, like make it relative to the amount of mints that are in a drop. Because once again, there's some collectibles that have dropped on the app that have less than 300 mints. The skateboard that just came out over the weekend has 160 mints. Now one is not any more valuable than the other for MCP points. Like why? It makes no sense. Comic points series. The comic series points have been removed from the points table as the comic daily points have now been increased. The series points have been removed as the daily points have now been increased. Okay, so it sounds like you don't get points for completing a series anymore. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but it sounds like you don't get points for completing a series anymore. Interesting. Mark says it was designed originally for Master Collector. Now it's quite clearly Master Investor. I mean, I already hit on that. Like I said, if you want to get more points than the next person by spending $1 million on the app, by all means, please do so. You're burning the OMI token and you're making my investment more valuable. You're not getting anything that is crazy valuable by doing it. Like you're really not. Like you will. Like, let's say they do, they release Pokemon and the Pikachu, golden, statue, ultimate, animated, whatever, 1,000 editions. And they say 20 of these are earmarked for Master Collector points because they're not going to make it half of them, right? Like, it's going to be a very small percentage of every drop. You're getting, all worked up about not getting a chance at, maybe one of 20 spots because someone beat you out with more points, but once again, it's a raffle. It's not a lottery. So you still have a chance. And then you still have another chance to go for the drop itself. So it's like people look at this and they assume like these Master Collector points are going to make you some like crazy baller that gets every single drop. You're maybe going to get one drop in 6 months. Maybe. Like that's like, it's a cool system, guys, but it's not like we're making this out to be like, oh my God, people that spend the most money, they're going to take over the app. Like, no, they're going to get cool badges and banners for being a higher level. They may get some other like customizable perks or whatever that's like cool. And you might be like, oh darn, I wish I had that, but whatever. But like really the only pay to win feature is that they earn more points than you, which really at the end of the day, because it's a raffle, doesn't actually give them that much more of an advantage in my opinion. So like, yes, like why would we not want a bunch of investors to come on the app right now and buy all of our showrooms and collectibles off of us for $1 million each? I'd be fine with that. You can go ahead and be a whale. I'm cool with it. You can have my collectibles. I'll sell them to you for sure. I'll make my vault video next week, and if someone wants to give me an offer, I will sell you. If you want to buy my collectibles off of me in OMI, I will sell you my entire collection. I have absolutely no problem doing so. I might keep 1 or 2 pieces that I enjoy collecting, but once again, it's not about whales. Like it doesn't, like, that to me doesn't apply. Like, you know what I mean? And Maximus is like, I go for every drop because I know I'm only going to hit about 1/8 or less. And that's the same thing with the MCP. You may raffle and you may hit 1 out of 10 drops. It's just one level of gamification to reward you for participating on the app, but it's not a pay feature. You can't go out and buy points. You can buy collectibles, but if they want to raise the prices and floors of everything else because you own those collectibles and you want to sell them, it's only valuable to you. And if you don't want to collect comic books anyways, because you don't care about comic books, it doesn't matter. Luke says MCP matters in my opinion because it differentiates from other NFT platforms. Yeah, it's a great level of gamification and participation in the app. And I think that's why the team is rolling it out. They are collectors and they understand the inherent value in it. But once again, its value comes from what it does to the community, not because it benefits individual collectors necessarily. I gave the example when I did my last stream, and I'll pull it up again on my phone right now because I think it's an important distinguishing factor to make. I used to play Clash Royale all the time, right? I spent a lot more money than I care to admit on a free-to-play game that gave you no inherent benefit by spending money, right? If you look at my screen, you can see that I have badges. I earn those badges from participating in events, from playing the game, from completing certain challenges and stuff. Everyone can see those badges on my profile, right? Like, that's awesome. It's cool, but it doesn't do anything. It gives you that like good feeling about yourself. Like, hey, I accomplished something, but it doesn't really do anything. It's going to be the same thing with Master Collector Points. It's not actually going to do as much as I think people think it's going to do. Anyways, point limitations have been included in the MCP overview, which outlines measures to prevent the point system from being gamed. I like that because I know people, we talked about it last time, people were already selling, and we saw the Walt statues cut in half because people are selling the Walt statue because they think if they load it up on $500 secret rare comic books that they're going to be somehow better off. But what are you better off for? Right? Walt could go to 100K one day. If those comics don't mean anything in the real world and they're never going to go above $1,000 for true value, what people is actually willing to spend money on to buy it off of you, when they realize that points really don't matter that much, like, did you really make the right decision? Like, are you really gaming the system? Are you better off for it? In my opinion, you're not. But anyways, let's see. I just want to see if there's anything else in the chat. Obviously, I'm doing my best to balance the chat, guys. I do value all of your guys' feedback and opinion, all 114 of you that are watching right now. I really appreciate it. So, Omichild says the MCP program gives benefits such as early access to digital collectible releases. Yeah, in the form of the drop lottery, yeah, or the drop raffle. Limited edition collectibles. Maybe that's referenced in the article. I haven't seen that yet. And bonus OMI tokens? I've never heard of that before. He says from the white paper, most likely minus the token bonus. Yeah, no, you're not getting, I can tell you right now, they're never going to give you token bonuses for collecting an MCP. I can even tell you, because I know some people are waiting for it, whenever it does come out, the OMI utility program, do not expect to be able to stake OMI to earn OMI on the app. I know a lot of people would like to be able to do that, but I'm telling you factually, it's not going to happen, because when you stake something to earn more of something, it's inflationary in nature, and you're going to put negative sell pressure on the token, because what is going to happen when people earn more OMI tokens? They're going to sell them, which is going to put sell pressure on the token. It's never going to happen. I'm just letting you guys know right now. I don't want that to be an expectation. I don't want anyone to be upset. If you're upset, be upset about it now. Don't take it out on the team when they do release the article. I'm telling you it's not coming, because it would make absolutely no sense for the tokenomics. And that is coming from someone that has 14 million tokens. As much as I would love to be able to stake my tokens and make more OMI, it's not coming. Remember, Omichild, the white paper is like 3 years old. That was their intention at the time. The article that's out right now is what we're going to base it off of, right? So, let's see. People are selling things in the chat. That's totally fine. Let's see. the points will be much more useful than just bidding for early access. I honestly don't think so. We'll read through the article, but I really don't think that they will be. Once again, understand that your rank and your points are two different things, right? So as you rank up in-app activity, making purchases, etc., you earn a specific rank, which unlocks certain items. The points are a currency. They're not worth a dollar value, but they give you access. Literally the only thing they're giving you access to is to do a drop raffle. That's what the points are, right? Like, they're nothing crazy. Like, I know a lot of people wish that, you did. It's just not. Like, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. Like, I know that you're hoping that the points are going to be like this end all to be all, and what, like, it's not. And you also have to remember that this is going to run concurrently with the OMI utility program, which is also going to earn you points. So, like, you're upset now because you're reading this and you're like, oh no, whales are going to buy. Like, I have 14 million OMI and I'm a minnow in this ecosystem. So, like, what are you going to say when someone stakes 2 billion OMI and gets access to every drop because they get more raffle points than all of you? That's when you're really going to be like, oh, dang, whales get what they want. Like, this MCP article is like, nah, it's not even like, no shot. Like, it's not that it's imbalanced in that regard. Shout out to Dan Schwabel. He said the Storm article is out, so we're going to check that out quickly before we continue on. So Storm drops Saturday, the 20th of November at 8 a.m. Pacific, only on the VV app. I'm not going to read through this whole thing because obviously that's not the purpose of this, but we'll pull out some big points. Firstly, this looks awesome in my opinion. I said this yesterday privately, and I'll say it publicly because if anyone takes this the wrong way, I apologize, but I think that it's an important distinction to make. And I want to preface it with that because what I'm saying is from a consumer-centric perspective, and it's not meant to be like whatever, but a female superhero and a person of color combined being released on the app right now is fantastic for the platform. And I'm not trying to say, they're intentionally leveraging either of those factors. I know it's a sensitive topic and I'm not trying to make it, but doing something like this is fantastic for cross-demographic representation, bringing in new users into the platform and stuff. I think that this was a perfect pick for them. And I'm super happy to see that they did that. I don't know if any of you guys disagree with that, but once again, I think it's fantastic. I think the character looks great, powerful, and yeah. So this is the common 16,500. Okay, so it's a blind box and it's $50 per blind box. That's actually cheap. That's cheap because when you think about the Captain America and the Spider-Man, they were both $400, and this is an FA. So this is a steal. So 16,500. I think the common will even sell at or above this. The uncommon, 12,500. Okay, so the edition numbers are pretty high for both. The common might sell for a little bit under. The uncommon will probably sell at. The rare is 6,500. That looks pretty dope. I like that. Animated, Storm, ultra rare, 3,650. Okay. And ultimate animated, 1,500. Okay, so we have 5,150, 6,650, 18,019. It's like 36,000 or something, roughly. 36,000 editions being dropped. So I think for $50, that's pretty reasonable. I mean, we look at the Eternals. They were being dropped for $13, and there was 109,000 editions. So I think that's pretty reasonable. Chris is putting in the chat right now, Storm set is worth 15.75 MCP points. Holy cow. I guess that's because it's got a secret rare in it, right? And it completes a set. So that's 5 points plus 5 points for completing the set plus the bonuses for holding the rare and the ultra rare. And wow, that's crazy. See, to me, that sounds like a lot of points because the most was the Cosmic Cthulhu set, or for the Krypton, sorry. And it was 18.75 points before they made this new iteration. So to me, that sounds like a lot of points, but maybe it's not actually as many points as I think. But that's awesome. We'll give that a like. We'll give it a retweet as well. That's awesome. Noah says, why do I feel like Omi is the ugly stepchild to Vivi when Omi utility? Oh, you got me dead, bro. That's awesome. Hashtag soon. No, it's coming. It's coming. Honestly, I've said this before. I think the OMI utility program is going to be announced tonight. I very much believe that. We'll see if I'm right, but Wubba says points give you the rank, right? Yes. So points give you a rank as you move up, but then you could spend points, but you don't lose your rank. So they run as like concurrent systems. So like you level up in XP and then you earn a certain amount of points for getting that XP. Because remember, you're not getting, I should rephrase that. You're not getting points because you can get points for free, right? Like you can get points from logging in every day, participating in the feed, sharing your showroom, etc. Like those have nothing to do with collectibles. So you're earning XP, but at the same time, you're also earning points. And the two go up, but then you could spend your points, which go down, but your rank stays at the same level. Derek says, damn, you have 14 million OMI. What do you do for a living? Just curious. I am in law enforcement, Derek. And yeah, I'm going to make a video at some point talking about how that all came to pass. Huge shout out to my wife, huge supporter of us making this investment, biggest investment we've ever made in our lives. And I just very much have a world of conviction in it. You can watch any of my videos since I started making content back at the beginning of August, and not financial advice, but it's the best project that I've literally ever seen come out. Just the things that they're doing. And I think sometimes, like, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here for a second. People call me a maximalist because I very much believe in the project, but like even you guys have seen, like reading through the MCP, like I have no problem being critical of the project when I need to be critical of the project. But you also have to understand that I have a long-term investor mentality. Like I'm fine with being here for 3 or 5 years without not seeing any real returns because I know where the project is going. I have no problem being an early investor. I think in crypto, people want to see returns overnight and they get upset because things aren't happening immediately. I understand where the project is going, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to speak with the people that are responsible for the project and are making these changes on a daily basis. And so I have a very intimate understanding of the passion and drive that these people have to make this project successful. So it's easy for me to have conviction in the project because I understand it fully. And I think when you truly take the time to understand the project, you understand that, you know, it's not a gamble, it's an investment. And if you have the money to make that investment and you believe that it's a wise investment, then you make that. And then Yob says, boom, Walt at 10K. Yeah, that didn't last long. I hope that anyone that sold it at 7 didn't buy it for a higher price. I hope that was someone taking profit, because if not, that was a huge mistake. Goku says, Slump MMA, thank you for joining the fam. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. Goku says, I'm a black guy and I agree, my friend. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you saying that. Oh my God, we're going to have like a sub train going on. DLU Gamakuza, thank you for joining the fam. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think Storm was a great selection, and I love the marketing and what they're doing for all of this. If Foster ever wants to be a lawyer, I'd hire him. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Okay, I'll get back to the comments in a second. I want to get through this for some guys that are reading this. So summary, we know that everyone's enrolled in the MCP. Points will be rewarded retroactively. For those of you that don't know that, I know I haven't touched on that yet. That means if you started collecting, February, June, if you started collecting 2 weeks before the project comes in, you're earning those points for completing the sets if you have completed sets, and for every single day that you held those collectibles. Some people I saw ask the question last time, do we earn points if we completed a set and then we sold the set or gave away the set or whatever? Yes, but you only ever earn those points once. So as an example, I bought the Peggy Carter. If I got rid of the Peggy Carter, sold it, it completed a set on its own, I would get those points. But if I bought it back, I wouldn't get the 100 points again. You only get it one time per collectible type. We know that you're entered into the MCP starting at level 0. I like what they did here. A lot of people don't realize this, but you start at level 0 and then you complete the onboarding and you level up to level 1. So like they understand human psychology, right? Like they're working with experts, and like people don't recognize the little stuff like this. This stuff is massive. You log onto the app and within the first 4 minutes of being on the app, you level up. You get that dopamine hit. Oh man, I level up. Maybe a cool animation, maybe you get a badge. And it's like, yo, I want to keep doing this. Like little stuff like this that people just don't appreciate. It's the little nuances that make a huge difference. It's genius. I love stuff like that. You level up. We know how you level up. Collectors can earn points on various features and products within VV. Spending points does not affect your level or rank. So remember, you spend the points, you don't have the points anymore, but you keep your rank. Let's see here. Let's see. Dan says, agree with Foster about diversity on the platform. Smart move. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, man. Just everything that they can leverage, they're doing it. Like I know people always say when marketing, they're never marketing, whatever. And they may not be going out of their way to market, but Rogers and Cohen is their marketing firm. For those of you guys that don't know, huge firm in the US, works with a bunch of famous A-list actors, movie stars, celebrities, and some big companies as well, like McDonald's, MasterCard, etc. They're probably in their ear still giving them some suggestions. They may not be, contacting and leveraging their publications to put out articles, but like there's method to their madness, right? So just remember that. They know what they're doing. Even if it doesn't happen as quickly as you want it to happen, they know what they're doing. Pokey Kobe says, my fellow Capital City VV Akomi investor. That's it. Only other AA NFT is Sam Wilson Mighty. True. Completely agree. So it's nice that they're adding in that diversity. I think it's fantastic. And Cavell Anderson's come out and said like he would want to buy it because of that. And so I think that's great. Like bring in different ethnicities, bring in, nationalities, whatever. Like it's fantastic. Like this app is about bringing people together, right? So and people are going to collect what they want. Like if you don't want Storm, don't buy Storm. Like that's fine. But some people may pay a premium just because of that. And that's perfectly fine. Like you're going to collect what you enjoy. Luca brings up a good point. I would say the most important part of the points is buying things in the VVverse. In that sense, it does differentiate. I agree with you for the most part. That's a good point. And I don't generally talk about the VVverse too much yet because we don't have enough information about what's coming out that we can make that definitive distinction between like, yes, this will be valuable or this won't be valuable. We don't know that yet, but I agree with you. It's likely going to be. Curtis says Lucky Floor is 2.5K now. Yeah, it was like 2.2. So that's not a crazy jump or anything. Andrew, I can't wait for the AMA later today. I'll be at work, but I'm going to try and have it on in the background. That'll be our little secret for all of you that are in here now. I don't know that I'll get a chance to speak because of that. So that's part of the reason I wanted to go live now, because I may not get the opportunity to do it while I'm at work for obvious reasons. So, yeah, Dan says, even if OMI staking isn't announced, no question they will be asked about it. Oh, 100%. People are going to ask them and they're going to be upset that they can't stake their OMI tokens, and that's just going to happen. DW says, I've had my eye on the Lucky the last few days. Floor keeps hitting 2.5, then a cheaper one comes available. Yeah, I mean, the main selling feature for me for Lucky, and once again, I got it on the drop. So for me, it's pretty much infinite upside, which is why I'm still holding it. Once we get interoperability, assuming that Toy Tokyo is fine with it, I know Jermaine Rogers will be. We already know this for sure. If Toy Tokyo is fine with interoperability, I think Lucky will do well because of the additional people that will come in. Gold resonates in Asian culture and it has additional value. So I think it will do well because of that. But, Lezek, yeah, we talked about that 85 million sell order. Yeah, just waiting for the OMI utility article. 100%. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just waiting for that OMI utility article to come, and then you're going to see that immediately disappear, and we're going to get, I think, a nice little pump, maybe up to 0.0082 with that article coming out. Maybe even higher if people really like the article, but there's technical levels that you guys need to be aware of. Shout out to DI James 23. You guys should follow him on Twitter. He does great technical analysis, and he really emphasizes a lot of those technical levels. That's the next one that we kind of have to break in order to get into 0.009 range. Yeah. Let's see here. Any news about MTL? Ahmed, I think that'll be discussed in the AMA tonight, if I had to guess. I would say that they've essentially fully integrated it into the app now. Like all of the regulatory and legal compliance with banking partners and everything is done. They're just likely trying to decide who is going to beta test it and how that beta test is going to roll out. And assuming it's successful, I don't imagine it taking more than a couple of weeks before it becomes available to pretty much everyone on the app. They'll probably test it in phases, right? They'll let in 50 or 100 people, give them 48 hours to transact. If all the transactions are going well, they get their feedback. They'll let in a next group of people, and it'll be an iterative process over a couple week period. I think their bigger focus right now is the migration to Immutable, which I have a funny feeling is going to happen before the end of November. So, yeah. Someone asked about a price prediction earlier. Sorry, there's so many comments, guys. I'm trying to keep up with everyone. Thank you so much for the support. 140 people watching right now. It's crazy. Like, I remember the first live that I ever did. I went up to my wife afterwards and I was like, I had 6 people watching me. It was great. So to just have so many of you guys watching and supporting the channel is just, I don't know, man. I'm just an average dude and I just love talking about the project. So it's just, I still haven't wrapped my head around the fact that like there's so many people that enjoy participating in the community and that, watch my channel and stuff. So thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. Someone asked me about a price prediction for Omi. Oh, Horse on Jupiter says, when do you see us hitting 5 to 7 cents? DW says February next year. Once the Omi utility program comes out and we see what effects staking will likely have on the circulating supply, I will be able to model some projections and I will give you a more definitive answer. I do see by the end of Q1 2022, assuming that the MTL, OMI to NFT, migration to immutable, and possibly even the MCP being rolled out, I do see 5 to 7 cents being possible. I would say, to be more conservative, 3 to 7 cents, because people will be taking quite a bit of profit at 3 cents, but we have no idea how this project will be adopted. It could take on a complete life of its own. And we know what happens when people, look what happened with Pokemon Go when it first came out. Like, you saw those videos of people in like the Asian markets and whatever, like thousands of people crowding into intersections to try and collect Pokemon. Like if we announce the Pokemon license or a big branding partnership with, with an Apple or Facebook or something, like literally anything is possible. But we'll have to see. I don't want to be a moon boy, right? Like, I don't want to say like, hey, we're going to $1 tomorrow. Like, that's not realistic. That's like, if that's what you want to hear, I can tell you it, but it's not going to benefit you as an investor, right? Like, you need to understand the catalysts that drive price action. So once more of those are announced, we'll probably have a more definitive outline of where we could see ourselves going. But I do see, being at a $5 billion market cap, right now we're at about 1.5 billion, as being very possible, which would bring us up to a minimum of about 3 cents in the next couple months. Staking is good as it takes OMI from the circulating supply, which in turn rises token price. If we earn OMI, it would increase circulating supplies. As imagine we'd earn it from the reserve wallet. Exactly, DW. That's the problem with inflationary tokenomics or rewarding someone with more tokens. We would never want to do that. Like, as good as it sounds in principle, you would never benefit more than the price we would pay for having to have that done. I think that they're going to be able to outline a lot of other features that will be more beneficial to people with staking still happening. So, yeah, buying, and that's the other catalyst too. Like, exchanges, once we get listed on Immutable, are going to be huge. Like, I do very much believe with the XLM file being data mined off of Binance, there is an OMI to USDT pairing on the website. For those of you that do not know, I do believe that will be listed at some point in the next couple months. I also see a Coinbase listing coming as well. For those of you that do not know, sorry, Vivi just put out a tweet, and it always distracts me when they do that because I get notifications about it immediately. For those of you that haven't downloaded the update for the app, make sure you have the update. But yeah, so I just feel like with exchange listings, for those of you that don't know, Coinbase is a partner with Immutable X. And obviously, Vivi is in the process of migrating over to Immutable X. Coinbase is opening up an NFT marketplace, and Binance also has an NFT marketplace. It would make perfect sense if Coinbase was a partner of Immutable X to have Vivi collectibles interoperable not only on Immutable X, but on Coinbase Marketplace. And for those of you that don't know, Coinbase has like 96 million users. So that would be massive for the token. So just to keep that in mind. I do anticipate prices dropping to your question once MTL does come out. People will likely liquidate their collectibles. The second, it's actually funny that you say that, because the second that the announcement about Dan said in an AMA, like, hey, we're going to prevent people sending gems from one account to another and things like that. Like you could see in like the Telegram groups and stuff, like people started selling their gems for like 0.6, which was something we never saw before. And that was literally just bot accounts panicking. They're like, oh, I just need to offload my gems to at least make some profit because it can be stuck otherwise. So yes, I do see some liquidation when the MTL is out, but at the same time, if OMI to NFT is there and we're on Immutable before the MTL is released, you have to remember that there is a lot of money, like big money, sitting on the sidelines that are waiting to A, make sure that the collectibles are interoperable, and B, to be able to pay in crypto. Because you could sell your ETH into OMI or use ETH directly on Immutable to buy these collectibles. Right now, they can't do that. And you know how much of a pain in the butt it is to buy gems right now? It's impossible. When I was helping Andre buy his collectible, it took us 3 hours because he had issues with his banking partner. His credit card got flagged. I ended up having to buy gems for him, send them to him. It was a disaster. So, yeah, it's if they come out with that, before all of those factors, we will see a drop off in price. But to me, that's just a buying opportunity if you believe in the long-term, direction of the project. Real Talk, thank you so much for another donation, man. I appreciate that. I think you're going to be my top donator here soon. I'm going to have to watch out for that. But do you have any scam resistance info prior to Immutable migration? So do I have any... Okay, so here, that's a great question. I think it's an important topic to speak on. Never, ever, ever go to links that the official VV platform has not put out themselves. So even as an example, and shout out to, Tapim for saying you like my logic and Adam saying I have a good heart. I appreciate that. But like, even then, like, do not click on a link that I have put in to my description of a video for like an exchange swap or something. And I'm telling you this as myself. Like, I will direct you to the official VV platform and tell you to click on that link. There will be a ton of people that see tweets from either fake VV accounts or people impersonating Alex or Noah or Reese or even content creators. Randy Chavez's account got hacked the other night. Like, hey, click on this link and you can get an extra bonus for converting on this swap site. Don't do it, guys. I know you see the dollar signs and it's like, hey, I'll get an extra 10% if I swap on this site, and then all of your tokens are gone. For the collectibles, they're being done automatically. There's nothing that we have to do. It's only the tokens. If you were going to do it, I would leave your tokens wherever they are right now, whether it's on an exchange, in the VV web, well, if it's in the VV web wallet, you can't take it out anyways, or in a Trust Wallet, MetaMask, or if you have a cold storage wallet, leave them there until they come out with official announcements about how the swap site works. I will be doing multiple videos on how to do the swap. I will do a video doing an overview. I will do a video of me swapping some of my tokens live so that you guys see the entire process. I will break it down to whatever level it needs to be broken down to make sure that everyone is on the same page. But do not click on links that people are providing you in Twitter or whatever, whether it be from me or anyone. If it doesn't come from VV, it's not the official source. Do not click on it, because that is how people are going to lose money. Don't do it, guys. That is my biggest tip to you, is don't rush to do the swap. Wait until the official information comes out, because people will try and take advantage of it. They'll create like fake OMI tokens on ERC. Like, there'll be like the OMI token, and then there'll be the Akomi token, and people will be like, oh, it's the Akomi token, I'll buy that, and it's the wrong token. Like, don't do it. Real Talk says, how would you describe the majority of the current participants of VV since the big whales and collectors haven't completely FOMO'd in? It's a lot of investors right now. It's a lot of people that know about the OMI token and that have told friends about the VV app because the OMI token's too difficult to buy. So like, as an example, everyone on my platoon at work is invested in the OMI token, minus maybe one or two people, and all of them have the VV app. Like, they spend a small amount of money to buy OMI tokens, and then they're bigger on the VV app right now. It's people recently, because of the Disney announcement, I think are coming in from other fandoms. We're finally starting to see that switch over of people that are dedicated to their fandom coming in. But for the last 6 months ago, it was a lot of people just loved, making money and were looking to flip and stuff. So that is what I would say to that. Oh man, am I that far behind on comments? You guys are crazy. I love all the participation. I'm just trying to keep up with um Javier says, where and how can I invest in OMI? Shameless plug because we're here. If you go on my YouTube channel, which you're watching right now anyways, I released a video a week ago titled How to Buy the OMI Token. I go through step by step as to how to buy the OMI token, all the steps that you could possibly need. If you watch the video and you're still not sure, you don't understand something, shoot me a message on Twitter or YouTube and I will give you a hand. I have no problem doing that. It's not investment advice. I'm not telling you to invest in the OMI token, but if you're looking on the how to do it, I have a video of that out on my channel. And I do use Bitforex as well, is the website that I use. And then I think we just got a new subscriber, Mark. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. Ludwig says, as much as I love new IP announcements, I sincerely hope they focus on Immutable, MTL, and OUP before announcing any major new IP such as Pokemon. I'd be happy with some more Disney Fox drops for now. Yeah, I completely agree. I think OUP will be discussed tonight. I think we'll get an update on Immutable and MTL, which I do anticipate Immutable happening next week. That's just a guess, but I just have a feeling. And then MTL, the beta will probably start before the end of November. I really do believe that now. I think they have all their ducks in a row and that it's going to be full steam ahead on that. Relaxation says, is there any restriction on how many gems can be received per day? Yeah, $500 per account. So if someone's transferring you gems, they can only send $500 or 500 gems from an account. But I think if people are sending you gems from 100 accounts, you could receive that no problem. And then to buy gems, it's just whatever your credit card issuer's limits is. So if you don't have any limits, then you're fine. Marcus says, great discussion, Foster. 4K subs. What an effort in such a short space of time. Always a balanced viewpoint, which is great. I appreciate that, Marcus. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a crazy journey. Like I started YouTube first week of August, and to already have this much traction on the channel and have this much support is just, it's crazy. Like I literally never thought in my life I would hit the point where I'd have 133 people, sitting here having a conversation with me. It means the world. And I really do appreciate the fact that you guys feel that I'm providing you that value. And of course, if there's anything else that you think would be valuable on my channel or anything that you want to discuss, just let me know. Like we'll figure it out. Oh, interesting. Giovanni says the cell wall is starting to have bits bitten off. But he called in his friend. He's like, guys, I'm losing money. Someone come back me up. His buddy came in and put up a cell wall as well. Greasy. Oh well, that's okay. People are gonna buy it, man. The news is coming. You can't fight it down forever. You can try it, but we know where the OMI token's going. So you fight it all you want, but it's not gonna happen. I didn't know you had a video on how to get OMI Foster. Now I'll tell people about yours too. Thanks, Kaser. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I'll put out a message on Twitter when I make a new video, and I'll put out one message on Discord, but I don't go out of my way to like, hey, you need to watch this video. Like there's other content creators. There's a ton of other content creators that make great content in the community. I think all of them produce value in their own way. If you guys find value in my content and you want to watch it, thank you so much. I appreciate it, of course. But I mean, if there's someone else that did a better video on something, I'll 100% let you know about it. Like Taps Trades put out a video the other day, literally made me want to eat my desk about all the Pokemon connections with Alfred Kahn and everything. I definitely recommend you guys checking that out. Like I'm never going to get to the point, whether I have, 100 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, a million subscribers. Like if people are bringing value to the community, I will 100% let you know. Like I have absolutely no problem doing that. Cause Dan Schwabel has a great saying. He says, what is it? It's strong tides rise all ships or something, but it's basically like we all grow together, right? Like I don't gain anything by putting other people down or competing against other content creators or whatever. I'm still entitled to my opinion, but at the same time, like I'm not the only person, like I'm not the only right thing, right? So it's yeah. So Tapim says, I think it would be great if there's any incentive to buy VV collectibles by OMI and eventually get rid of gems in the long term. OMI Chalice doesn't ever get rid of gems. So yeah, Tapim, just so you know, there will be an incentive to buy collectibles in OMI, specifically on the secondary market. In the primary market, they will never get rid of gems because gems is how they generate revenue. The issue becomes is if they only allow collectible purchases in OMI on the primary market, the team would then have to take that OMI and immediately sell it into fiat to pay off licensors, to pay the team, to keep the lights on. So if you purchase in gems, they're able to facilitate that purchase in fiat and pay out their licensors, pay out their team. But because of the tokenomics, every gem purchase is underpinned by the OMI token. So it's taken out of the reserve vault, moved into the vault wallet, and that's how we burn tokens. So eventually what will happen is when we have buyback started, a percentage of primary market sales will be earmarked to taking OMI out of circulating supply and topping up the reserve wallet. So you'll still be able to use OMI to buy a small percentage of collectibles in the primary marketplace and pretty much all collectibles in the secondary marketplace if the seller chooses to list it in OMI, as well as land in the VVverse and other items. But they'll never get rid of it entirely because the system would fall apart at that point. So Mark says you get 90% of the points back if you lose out on the MCP raffle. Okay, we need to get back to this MCP article. I've just been, not that I don't want to answer your guys' questions, but like I didn't see that in the overview. So it's interesting that they're doing that right now. Megalodon says, let's go Foster. Let's go. Makes me super bullish. Yeah, Giovanni, I'm super bullish on the project as well. God says, God, how much do you think OMI can reach? Is there any way to contact you on any social network? Dude, reach out to me on Twitter, at Foster Hilt. Comment in my whatever. Like, it's Alon, welcome to the family. Thank you so much for subscribing, brother. Appreciate that. Yeah, you can reach out to me. Just, if you have any questions or whatever. If you have any questions here, let me know. Arjun, thank you. Welcome to the family. Appreciate it. Thanks for the subscription. I think that, like, what's your time frame, right? Like, that's the biggest question. Like if we continue on at the trajectory that we're continuing on at, if OMI price stays low and we burn a ton of OMI, $10 OMI is not unrealistic. But what's your time frame, right? And that's the biggest issue. Like, that's the biggest thing that Cavell and I got into when he first came out with that prediction. I was like, you make it sound like $10 OMI's happening tomorrow, right? And he's like, no, bro, I'm talking 15, 20 years down the road. I was like, okay, that makes more sense. And I actually agree with him. And the reason that I agree with him, and I think this is an important conversation, so I'm going to have it for a second, because I'm not a moon boy, but you also have to understand how things develop in finance and values. So right now, the entire crypto space has about a $2.7 trillion market cap. 50% of that, or maybe it's a little under, I think it's like 44% of that is Bitcoin. And then all of the other cryptos fall under the rest of that market cap, okay? 2.7 trillion is about the market cap of what Apple is worth right now, which is obviously one of the biggest companies in the world. But what you need to remember is that the time value of money changes over time, right? So like there was no billionaires, 30 years ago or whatever, right? And now there's a bunch of billionaires, and there was no trillionaires, but there'll be trillionaires one day. So like as things go on, so like right now, people believe, like experts in the field say that Bitcoin will overtake the market cap of gold and become a store of value by 2030. Gold's market cap is $10 trillion. So if Bitcoin became a $10 trillion market cap and all of the other tokens got another 10 trillion of that, so the entire cryptocurrency industry became a $20 trillion industry, because once again, we're talking 10 years down the road. We're not talking today. What piece of the pie does Akomi and Vivi get out of that? Now, remember, we're talking about crypto regulation coming in. So all of these meme coins or coins that offer all these crazy APYs that are classified as securities will no longer exist because they're memes. All these copycats and carbon copies, the Safe Mars, Baby Doge, Baby Elon, like all these tokens that people are investing a ton of money in, they're not going to be able to invest in them anymore because they're not going to meet regulatory compliance. So what are you going to invest in? You're going to invest in tokens that have value. Well, what are the tokens that have value? Avalanche, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, OMI, right? Like, and those aren't the only ones, but just as an example, some that have. So what does OMI have? Well, OMI is deflationary. So that means there's going to be less tokens over time. So the more people that use the OMI token, the more deflationary it becomes. They're never minting any new tokens. So eventually, right now, we have a 240 billion circulating supply of OMI tokens. We'll never have more than 300 billion. And remember that 18 billion have been burned forever. So, let's say 300 billion is the maximum amount of tokens that will ever enter the circulating supply. Well, for us to hit a $1 OMI token, we need, $300 billion invested in market cap. $1 per OMI token. But what happens when staking comes in? Well, that locks up liquidity from the circulating supply, so that artificially decreases the circulation. Cardano has 70% of their tokens staked. So let's say, for argument's sake, we take Cardano numbers because the OMI utility program is incentivized enough for you to stake your tokens. Okay, so now we have 100 billion in circulation. Well, what happens when you start burning directly from the circulating supply? What happens when you start doing buybacks? What happens when you can buy land in the VVverse with OMI? What happens when you can buy non-specific IP with VVverse and OMI? Okay, well now we maybe have, 80 billion. Okay, well so now to have a $1 OMI, we only need an $80 billion market cap. Okay, well that's not so bad, especially when you consider the fact that Dogecoin hit a $90 billion market cap earlier in the bull run. What is Dogecoin? Dogecoin is a currency that you invest in because other people invest in it, which makes it more valuable, versus what the OMI token is going to have as utility. So then you really start getting the wheels turning. You're like, okay, this is interesting. Okay, so we have all of those burn mechanisms in place, but we haven't taken into account to the time value of money yet, because we haven't even considered the fact that the circulating, or not the circulating supply, the value of the entire market cap in the industry of cryptocurrency is increasing. Mass adoption of Bitcoin by governments, by businesses. What other cryptocurrencies are going to be adopted? When do they start getting exchanged and traded on regular stock exchanges? Less than 1% of the world invests in cryptocurrency. How much of that 1% that invests in cryptocurrency right now invests in the OMI token? Right? And how much manipulation goes on with those currencies that do? How many big businesses own all of the Bitcoin and all of the Ethereum, right? How many big businesses own the OMI token right now? None. There's no big businesses that own the OMI token. So we are the OGs. We're the, so what happens if you're holding 1 million OMI tokens, right? When OMI hits $1, well, then you have $1 million at an $80 billion market cap because there's 80 billion in the circulating supply. But 80 billion isn't actually that much money in 10 years, right? Like $80 billion market cap isn't even that much when you consider Bitcoin having a $10 trillion market cap. So these are the interesting considerations. So that's why when Cavell says $10 OMI is possible, he's not wrong. It is possible. But I'm not going to go out and say $10 OMI by this date or $1 OMI by this date or even a 1 cent OMI by this date because we're not there yet, right? Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on the things that are important in the project. And Giovanni, thank you so much for the donation. We are going to make it. I agree. We're going to make it after all. Sorry, guys. I'm not very good at singing. It says, I personally want OMI to drop so I can buy more millions before it moons. That's it, man. D.I. James, much love. Thank you so much, brother. That, for those of you guys that don't remember, that's the gentleman that I was speaking about that does great technical analysis. He doesn't just do it on OMI, he does it on a bunch of cryptocurrencies, and he's helped me out. He's great. As far as technical analysis can be right? Like no perfect system, but he's great. I'd recommend giving him a follow on Twitter. DIJames23 is his handle. Go check him out. Ludwig says 35 million saw while disappeared. Maybe they're watching you, Foster. Maybe. You know what? It's funny that you say that because I put out that tweet the other day about Secret Rare Spidey, Todd McFarlane, and Walt statue being blue chip. And 8 minutes after I did that, the floor went up $4,000. And then I was like, nah, there's no way I have ability to manipulate global markets. And like 5 minutes after that, it was back down to 11. And I was like, okay, it was just a coincidence. And for the record, guys, I would never manipulate a collectible value and then dump it on your head. So that's just it's not what I believe in. I'm a huge believer in karma. And I would never do that to you guys. Because that's just, like, why would you do that? That's just so scummy. Why would you want to make money off of the people that are, valuing and investing in you? It's not okay. Megalodon says Taps and Foster are the best. Thank you so much, man. Honestly, Taps, crazy dude. Like Taps, like I aspire to that guy, man. He's unreal. Just the way that he conveys information, the way that he puts his videos together. He's fantastic. There's a reason he's the most subscribed to person in the community currently. He's great. You guys, I don't know why you'd be subscribed to me and not him, but if you're not subscribed to him, make sure to check him out. He's great. Curtis says lucky floor 2.8. All right, well, we'll see if it holds. That's it, Dan. A rising tide lifts all boats. That's it. I'm not going to say that it's your saying necessarily, but you do say it. And I completely agree with you. I think, if we can support one another, big things. Chill. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Okay, let's go, Mark. All right, here we go. OMI has been trashed since March. Face facts. If you had everything tied up in OMI over the NFTs you lost for the last 8 months, but Bagging does work here, apparently, so keep it up. Okay. So as you can see here, guys, this is the chart for OMI. This was the OMI token back in 2021, the first week of January. As you can see, it was 0.00009783. For those of you guys that do not know, if you invested in the OMI token on January 1st of 2021, you would be up over 16,000% on your investment. And if you had invested $10,000, you would have over $1.7 million right now. So when I bought into the OMI token, because this is a good perspective, it's a good conversation. And I agree, Mark, the OMI token hasn't done what I wanted it to do either. But let's give some perspective, right? Because you're telling very one side of the story. So April 8th was the first price that I bought in at. I bought in at, I think it was 0.0079 was the very first purchase I ever made of the OMI token. It went up to 0.009 and I bought some more. I remember being with my buddy that day at work and I was like, dude, we got to buy. It's going over a penny. It's happening. FOMO. I was like, we got to have it happen. And then it went down. And I bought a little bit more at 7. Then it went down again. Bought a little bit more at 6.3. Then it went down. And I remember it went down to 4.7. And I went to my wife. I was like, this is the lowest it's going. We need to get in on this. We need to get in on it hard. And we dropped some stacks. Let's just say that. And then it went down to here. On June 21st, I was sitting at home and my investment was down 80%. 80%. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. And I had two choices because I understood the project. Do I put my money where my mouth is again, or do I give up? What decision do you guys think I made? Well, I kept going, right? I told a bunch of friends about the project when it was up here, and a bunch of them bought in. I also told a bunch of friends about the project down here, and they also bought in. My first buddy, he was a groomsman at my wedding party. Absolutely love him to death. He bought in here. He bought in once. He is break even today. He bought in at 0.0072. That's his break even point. So for the last 8 months, he has made no money. He didn't dollar cost average. He bought in once and he said, yep, that's good. If you understand investing and you understand the purpose of dollar cost averaging, you bought all of these dips. And you may have even bought in all the way at the top. I started at 0.0079. My DCA is 0.0052 right now. So I started making money right here. I am up tens of thousands of dollars right now because I believed in the project. I understood it and it's down here. Right? And remember that one day when we really, and I don't know how to do it on the chart because I'm not a technical guy. It'll look what's happening over here will be all of this one day. We're going to look back at this back in December. Look at the price. It ate a zero. It ate a zero down here. And it doesn't look like anything. You can't even see it. That is going to be us here. But when you're living in the moment, it's tough. You're like, oh God, was this a mistake? Did I get in at the wrong time? If you understand the project and you're in it for a long time, you're not concerned about any of this. If you did this to day trade OMI or you thought it was going to make you a quick buck, then yeah, you're disappointed. But if you understand the project, there's nothing to be disappointed about because you took advantage of this and you made money. Perfect example, Andre Jick. I consider him a friend. 1.7 million subscribers on YouTube. He's been great to work with. Helped him make a video a couple of weeks ago. He didn't dollar cost average down. He bought in at 0.009. 16 million OMI. Spent 150 grand. To this day, he is still down. He hasn't sold a single penny and he still believes in the project. Why is that? Because he understands the project. That's what it boils down to. If you're disappointed in the OMI token, you don't understand the project. When I joined here, I didn't fully understand the project. I don't necessarily still fully understand the project, but I've had this opportunity to do the research. And I know that one day this is going to look like this, and it doesn't concern me. Let's take the example even further because it's an important conversation to have. Does Bitcoin go back far enough? Oh, it doesn't. I can't do the historical on Bitcoin. I don't know how the charts work well enough to do it. But Bitcoin would have looked flat for years back at $1,000 or $100 when you could have bought it, or at $1 when you could have bought it. And now Bitcoin's $58,000. So it's just a perspective. Just remember that. I'm not saying one perspective is more right than the other, but it's just a perspective. Omi Charles says 81 cents by next Xmas minimum. 19 billion burnt to a crisp, Omi. Love it, Whippets. Beauty. Adam, we need to get to 100 billion supply in 5 to 7 years. Hopefully $1 Omi at least by then. I think we will. Just from staking Omi, right? If the incentives are large enough to stake Omi, we can lock up a significant portion of the circulating supply. Big says Axie Infinity went from 50 cents to over $100 in a 9-11 month time span. Omi to the moon. Yeah, just remember that market cap does play into that as well, right? Like just because one token goes up a lot, you have to look at the market cap. Like that's the bigger thing. Like I would much rather you say Axie went from a $1 billion to $100 billion market cap than I would have you say Omi went from 50 or Axie went from 50 cents to $100 because that doesn't necessarily mean anything if it's a micro cap. Now I know Axie isn't, but I'm just playing devil's advocate, but it's a good point. Whippet says won't take 5 years. I agree. Robel, what's going on, brother? Smash the like button. Yeah, if anyone likes what's going on, definitely. And J-Man, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that. I haven't forgotten about you. It's just a lot going on, and sometimes you just gotta speak some truth, right? So Only Child says, I think everyone needs to realize all of the catalysts are going to snowball one after the other. Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing that people don't realize, right? Like when we get a Binance listing or a Coinbase listing or a KuCoin, Gemini, Kraken, anything like that, coupled with utility for the token, coupled with an MTL, even if it happens over a couple months, like it doesn't have to happen one day after another day after another day, but like people don't realize the impact that that's going to have on the token, right? Like the vast majority of whales that I've spoken to, and not to say that there's not some bad actors in the community, there's bad actors in every community, but the vast majority of whales that I've spoken to very much believe in the long-term project, like the long-term outlook of the project. I've had whales on my channel that I've done interviews with that own 300 million Omi that bought it back in 2018. And when it was worth like $4 million in March, they didn't sell a single penny because they know where the project's going. Like you want to talk about conviction? Imagine turning $20,000 into $4 million and not selling a single penny. A lot of whales feel like that. Shout out to Aaron. I had him on my channel a couple weeks ago. Has over 1 billion Omi. Spent like almost $10 million to buy Omi. Because he believes in it and he understands it. And I am going to have him on the channel again at some point. We're going to do another interview. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Megalodon says, question is how many people are going to diamond hand until we hit $1? Well, it depends. If the dollar is the highest that we're ever going to hit, then not everyone, you can't sell at the top. So not everyone's going to do $1, right? But if $1 is just a speed bump to us getting to $3 or $4, well, then I see a lot more people holding to $1. So it just really depends on what the long-term outlook is. DW says I'm taking my initial investment out at 10 cents. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to be doing something similar. I promised my wife that I'd take her to Paris. It's her favorite place in the world that we've traveled to. And I said, for believing in me and all of this, we'll go to Paris. So I'll probably pull out my initial and then take a little bit of that profit, obviously, to go on that trip, take my daughter as well. But yeah, I think that that's probably a relatively good point, anywhere in the 6 to 10 cent range to pull out your initial, and then you're playing with house money. So then whatever happens, you kind of just let it ride and enjoy it. For people that say they're going to diamond hand and not sell anything up to $1, I don't think it's logical. I think it makes sense to sell your initial at some point. You got to remember 10 cents from where we're at right now is like a 15x. So there's no reason you shouldn't be taking out your initial at that point, but that's just me. Other people have different comfort levels with their investing. And that's totally fine. So, Enaru says, do you have your own Discord channel so we could all discuss and learn together? Something's in the works. Something's in the works. I'll leave it at that. But something's in the works. Stay tuned. Giovanni says 4 million chunk from the 85 million sell wall. Good. That's what I like to see. Omi says I'll take my initial after the rocket before it corrects. Smart. Kick out those afterburners. What will happen once we trump through the wall? Either another wall will show up or we'll keep going up. We'll have to see. Can you imagine what would happen when we get margin in futures for OMI? Adam, it's pretty crazy. So for those of you that don't know, Ascendex has futures trading for OMI. I did do it a little bit back when we were at 0.0035. Made about $4,000 futures trading OMI. It's pretty cool. And that's just on Ascendex, which isn't a big platform. So as the platforms continue to grow and we get more platforms, yeah. And Aru says, love your content, Foster. This donation is for you to buy OMI. LOL. Do you have that Discord channel or something similar where we can get all that tongue chat? Yeah, man. So like I said, and I'll repeat it again because thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Something is in the works. I'm not going to say anything yet, but I think you guys are really going to like it. And I'll leave it at that. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And yeah, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. It's going to be a pretty big announcement. Hopefully coming out in the next couple weeks. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to give in a Comey time frame, so don't hold me to it. But yeah, thank you so much for the donation, man. We'll definitely see about that. So people are making fun of the names of planets. I like that. Foster, let's keep it real. OMI is going to moon, but I don't see that dollar anytime soon, maybe in 4 years. Yeah, I agree. My price prediction was always 50 cents in 2025. And once again, that's not based off of anything like crazy super technical. That's just like, hey, I think this is coming, and because this is coming, this might happen. Once we get more conclusive, whatever, I think 50 cents is, and that's conservative. Like, I believe 50 cents is conservative. And I know some people will be upset with that, but like, you really need to evaluate your priorities, because 50 cents from where we are right now is like an 80x on your investment in 4 years. And if you want to show me another good investment, not a Doge, Safe, Mars, Shiba, Kishu, whatever, I would love to see it, because it doesn't exist. Because if it did, I'd be in it instead of this. And this is a one-of-a-kind project. And Omi Child says $1 becomes possible when staking is involved. Yeah, and I 100% agree. And that is just because you're removing it from the circulating supply. So that is something to keep in mind. DI James says, go to TradingView with the Kraken ticker to look at the history on Bitcoin in 2017 and even earlier. See, this is why I follow him for TA, because like things like that I just don't know, he knows. I might pull that up shortly, but thank you so much for finding that. I appreciate that, brother. Curtis first got in at the all-time high, but I also got in all the way down at 0.0018. Safe to say I'm in profit today. I'm not concerned about the price today. Curtis, thank you so much for saying that, brother. See, that's the perspective that I think people lose out on, right? There are so many people that have Curtis's story, but that didn't do the opposite, right? They bought it at an all-time high, and then it went down, and they're like, oh, this project's trash. I don't like it. Okay, but like, you didn't take the time to learn about it, right? Like, you FOMO'd into it at all-time high because you thought it was going to 100x overnight, and then it didn't, and then you just gave up on it. You either sold at a loss or whatever. Like, come on. Anyways, Curtis, that's a great story. I'm glad to hear that. And DW, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people that'll stake on me. And yeah, Adam, exactly. BNB token under 0 to plus $650. Exactly. Omi Child, I was lucky to not discover the project until 003 before it dropped. Yeah. And that's it, right? Like, I joke with my friends because I put all this effort into finding out about this project and doing all the research. And then I just told them about it. And I got a couple friends that bought in for, a couple grand at like 0.002. And they're up like 350% on their investment. So I look like a genius to them, but it hurts me sometimes because I wish I had bought in for the amount of money that I had all the way down at that limit. Adam, Paris, I love it, man. Maybe we'll do like an Omi. I know there's quite a few people that are in Paris, actually. Maybe we'll do like an Omi homie get together when I get down there. 3GP Media says, thoughts on someone like Disney acquiring Ecomi? It's possible. I think anything's possible, but here's the issue. And I don't mean issue from an Omi token or anything. The biggest issue with a company acquiring Ecomi is how do you find another company that doesn't have a vested interest in securing someone else's IP? So as a perfect example, I won't even say Disney because it's not as clear cut of a picture, but Marvel, which is owned by Disney, buys out Vivi. Well, we have the DC license on Vivi as well. Is DC really going to want to be on a platform that is owned directly by their competitor? Probably not, right? Like they don't want them to have access to their immediate IP like that. It wouldn't make sense. Then DC or Vivi is, or Marvel is making money off of DC's IP on their license. Like they're not going to want that, right? So I think if a company was to buy it out, it would be like an Apple, like a tech company, right? That doesn't necessarily have any of their own independent licenses in this space, but that would utilize their software and platform to continue to pump out the project. I think that that could happen at some point, but I do not think that it's any concern anytime soon. Sorry, 1 second. Hello? Hey, I'm on a live stream with 120 people. Can I call you back? Love you. Bye. Gotta love those technical difficulties when the wife's calling and you're with the Omi fam. Come on. So yeah, that's my thoughts on them being acquired. Just NFT and B says, do I need a comic book of any mint or all common for the points? It sounds like it's just of any mint for the series, but it also sounds like they took that out. The comic point series has been removed from the points table as the comic daily points have now been increased. So it doesn't sound like you get series points anymore. So there's no incentives to hold multiple series. So I wouldn't even worry about that right now. And shout out to Manuel. Thank you for joining the fam. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. Giovanni says, yo, it's wild how fast your account is growing, man. Almost 4x from when I joined, man. Congrats, subscriber-wise. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, it's been crazy. Like I said, it took me like 10 weeks to hit 1,000 subscribers, which I think is still incredibly fast. And then it took me 12 days to hit, from 3,000 to 4,000. So it's been crazy growth. I'm not naive to believe that, Andre Jick's shout out in his YouTube video didn't play a large portion in it. I think I was at 1,600 subscribers before his shout out. I'm not naive enough to believe that, hey, I did it all myself. Like I definitely got some help along the way, but if people are still enjoying the content and they're willing to stay for it, I mean, obviously I'm incredibly grateful for anyone that's joined, and for anyone that found my channel without, his shout out, I very much appreciate it as well. It's crazy. Keister says we're all going to be surprised with the price soon. I agree. What you guys have to remember is I have my own beliefs about where the price is going, but I'm not going to sit here and chill you guys on the token. I think that the token's going to do some pretty unreal things, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you, owe me to $1 and stuff. I have some conversations with some buddies or privately, or maybe, if or when, a private Discord was created or something like that, maybe we'll have a little bit of a different conversation. But in a public forum like this, like where it's accessible to everyone, I'm not going to put out those owe me to $1 predictions just willy-nilly, because people, it's what they want to hear, but it's not, if it's not foundational backed with anything, it's just a waste of time. Vil says, hoping that a staking article comes out soon and Pokemon announcement Q4 thoughts. I believe that the staking article teaser will come out tonight and that the staking article is going to come out tomorrow. I very much believe that. Reese said with Taps at Decon that the article is fully written and that they literally just need to hit publish. So I don't think that there's any reason at this point, unless they found a huge flaw in it, that they couldn't release a sneak peek tonight, similar to how they did like 3 weeks ago with MCP version 0.1, how they released that sneak peek in the AMA and then released it the next day. I think that's part of the reason that they're doing the AMA on a Friday, because they're going to release it the next day and they don't want people to have to wait too much. Sweffin, thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome to the family, brother. So that's my prediction on that. Pokemon announcement. No, I'm thinking Q1 2022. You got to remember, we're like 10 days from December, and then we only have December. There's so much going to be happening with the MTL migration to immutable and the OMI utility program. I just don't think that they work it into the calendar year personally. And I also don't know that it's a great idea. They need to make sure that they're scaling correctly on immutable. Like, let's worry about some quality life stuff, make sure that the app is functioning and that they're able to scale and handle the growth of that many users. We saw what happened the first couple of days of the Disney drops. It was a disaster, right? So let's make sure that we can handle that crazy influx of users, and then maybe we see, or maybe they announce it, but then they don't release it for a few months, and then that way it's out in the open. That's possible, but I don't see them releasing it and then it coming out on the app 2 weeks later. Just an MTB says, Omi's where I learned to DCA now in profit. Congratulations, man. And once again, to anyone that's not in profit right now that only bought at the top and hasn't bought down, Like, don't take it as a negative, right? Like, I'm not saying, you messed up or whatever. Like, everyone has their own journey. If you didn't, it's okay. Now is still a good buying opportunity for OMI, I think. You have an opportunity to DCA down a little bit before the catalysts come in that are going to pump the price. And like I said, conservatively 3 to 5 cents by Q1 end of 2022. Even if you bought in at 1 cent, you're still 3 to 5xing your money. So it's really not that bad when you consider it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Lucas says, any predictions on what staking perks will be? Curious what your thoughts are. That's an interesting question. So I think that staking OMI will be a requirement in order to access some OMI specific features in the app. So if you want to buy land with OMI, you also need to have OMI staked in order to access that feature. I do believe that they're going to do that because they're trying to incentivize locking up liquidity and then burning liquidity by having purchases with OMI. So I think people need to recognize that there may be some features that you can just buy with OMI and like whatever, that's fine. But I think there will be some features where you have to have OMI staked in order to access that feature. And that's just, they're artificially decreasing the circulating supply to give access to exclusive content, which I think is genius. And I hopefully this ages well. Hopefully we can watch this back whenever the article does come out and you'll be like, yeah, you hit the nail right on the head with that one. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be recommending it to them because I think it's a good idea. But that is my prediction. And I think with OMI, you'll be able to buy land. You'll be able to buy non-specific IP in the VV-verse because they won't have to pay royalties to any company. You'll be able to buy NFTs in the secondary marketplace. You'll be able to buy a percentage of NFTs in the primary marketplace. And then staking will likely reward you with points or exclusive items or something like that you can only access by staking OMI. Reese did already come out and publicly say that there's 3 tiers of staking OMI. That worries me a little bit. I'll be honest with you guys up front. I don't see how we can have 3 tiers of OMI with the spread of OMI that we have currently. And when I say spread, shout out to Jason Cologne. He puts out these tweets. You should definitely go follow him. And he'll put out the percentile of OMI. So for those of you guys, you're looking at this, you're like, oh my God, that's a lot of numbers. Just know, there's 68 billion that have over a billion OMI. There's 68 wallets. Now that includes, the Burn wallet, the Vault wallet, the Reserve wallet, Exchange and stuff like that. So it's not, there's not necessarily that many whales that have over a billion OMI, but just remember that. So we look at the percentiles, right? So if 702 people have over 22 million OMI and 35,000 people, so there's 70,000 wallets that have at least one OMI in it. The 50th percentile has 80,000 OMI in it. That means if you have more than 80,000 OMI, you have more than 50% of all people. So what are the ranges that you can come up with in 3 tiers that accommodate under 80,000 and above 22 million? Right? So are you saying like 0 to 100,000 is tier 1 and whatever? Because you can't do it that way, because then I'm going to stake 1 OMI token and get the same rewards as someone that stakes 99,999 tokens, right? So they can't do that. It's going to be a definitive number. It has to be, or else it doesn't make sense. Unless it's, the more points you stake within the realm, you get more points or something. But even then, like it's got to be XYZ. So maybe they go, tier 1 is 50,000 OMI, which gives you whatever. Tier 2 is 500,000 OMI. And then tier 3 is 10 million OMI. Well, then what about the 2,800 people that have 5 million OMI? They may never get to 10 million OMI. They can't be the top stake. But then they stake at tier 2 at 500,000. Well, now they have 4.5 million OMI that they haven't staked. So what's the incentive for them to stake the rest of it? So that's my concern with a 3-tier system. Will it actually roll out like that? I don't actually know. But my initial, when I heard that, I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. So I'm sure they know what they're doing, but if they don't, they're going to hear from me. Martin says, you think the Eternal set is undervalued considering there's 2 ultra rares in the last edition than Red Skull plus Doom plus total of 10 collectibles? I would have said yes until the new version of the MCP came out today. There's no secret rares in the set, and I don't know how many ultra rare points you actually get for holding URs yet. I meant to go through the article an hour ago, and we've just had so many great questions and talking points from the community. We haven't even gotten through it yet. So I'll circle back to that, Martin. It's a good question. I will be able to more definitively answer it when I see how many points you get for holding those collectibles. Tapim says, Foster, do you think we can see the OMI influencers like you, Taps, Cade, Dan, will group together and launch an NFT in the VV platform? I know you guys can convince David and Dan. I will be in for it. That's cool, man. Honestly, I'm always hesitant to assume that anyone is going to pay money that has anything to do with me. Like I'm still like, to this day, like when anyone donates to me, I get like, it weirds me out, right? Like I don't know how to feel when it happens. Cause I just love talking about the project. Like I said, like I'm just an average dude that, just happens to do a lot of research on this one project. So, like maybe if there was community demand for it, like for sure we would look into that. But I'm not naive enough to believe that my following is anywhere near the point where anyone would want to pay money to have an NFT of me. If you do, I'm flattered and we can definitely explore it. But like putting out like merch and stuff right now, like that's not necessarily something that like I'm contemplating doing. But yeah, I think as time goes on and as, maybe as our channels grow and depending on how the VVverse rolls out and whatever, maybe. I mean, I'm never going to take it off the table, but at this point, I don't know that it makes sense, at least for me. Asaf says, I wish I could stop checking the OMI price. I stopped checking it, man. Like, honestly, like that's why I purposely left up the Bitcoin on my screen because I don't even want to look at the OMI price. I used to sit there and just stare at the OMI price. It was the most stressful thing in the entire world. And if you're a long-term investor, why do you care what the short-term price fluctuations are in a day or two? Unless you're day trading OMI or you're trying to load up on your bag so you have some extra money to do it. Like I have my bag. Like I'm good. Like why do I need to stare at it every single day? Like if it goes down to 0.006, what does that matter right now? Like I'm not selling until we hit my first TP take profit is probably like 6 or 7 cents. So why do I care if it's 0.006 versus 0.007? So it's tough, but you get to the point where you kind of have to at some point or else you lose your mind. Otherwise, oh God, I have such a backlog of comments. Okay, I'm going to try going through them a little bit quicker. I try and give you the best responses to all the questions because I value everyone's input. But we're going to have to try and get through some people. Luca, yeah, you'll earn some MCP points from OMI staking for sure. They won't be acquired. This is Dan and David's baby. I agree. Now to say that they won't ever sell, I mean, maybe in 20 years when they've done their thing and they want to get out of it. But like you said, like they're true collectors and they built this project as a passion project. I'm sure David makes enough money with all of the companies that he has already that he didn't need to do this. Alfred Kahn's made over $1 billion. Like he doesn't need to do this. They're doing it because they love it and because they know it's going to change the world. Amazon might buy Komi. That's a good point, Giovanni. J-Man, great question. How early do you think we are? How many people do you talk to know about Bitcoin or crypto in general? Probably not very many, right? Maybe of your immediate friends, if you've already hammered it over their heads with them, or maybe if you're in like a tech specific field. I was the first one of my friends to get to even find out about cryptocurrency. Of that, people that know about even Bitcoin, how many people know about OMI? There's 70,000 wallets that have one OMI or more. And remember, people can have more than one wallet. I can have a wallet on Bitforex. I can have a wallet on Ascendex. I can have a Trust wallet. That's 3 wallets just for me. Right? And once I've opened that wallet and put OMI in it and then withdrawn it, it's a zero balance wallet. So it goes out of, but let's say it doesn't transact perfectly and it leaves like 1.5 OMI in it. That wallet has OMI in it, right? So how many people are actually invested in the project? Maybe 40,000, if I had to guess. 40,000 people. That's it. That's nothing. There are 4 million people that hold Doge. What happens when we 100x the amount of users we have? Think about it. You don't even need people to know about OMI. You just need people to buy the VV app, or not buy the VV app because it's free. Download the VV app, use it, and buy collectibles. And you're holding OMI and it benefits you. It's crazy. We are so crazy early. That won't last for long though. Like I put out 2 videos on my channel this week. Catalyst for the OMI token, Catalyst for the VV app. Once we get MTL, MCP updates like this, OMI staking, exchange listings, and Rogers & Cohen starts pumping out PR, you're not going to be early anymore, right? Like right now we are early. We're going to be able to look back at this in years. We're going to be able to rewatch this talk. It'll be on YouTube and we'll be like, man, like crazy. OMI's at, 40 cents right now. Remember when we were talking about it at 0.007 and that funny 85 million OMI sell wall? Like that was so funny. Like it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Megalodon says, got my first bag late February and added more in March. Keeping adding with every big dip. That's awesome, man. That's what you got to do. DCA, it's all about it. Kaser says, yeah, I don't like speaking on exact prices, but offline behind closed doors, the conversation gets real. And that's it. And that's what you guys need to understand too. Like as much as I can say, like, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. If you're watching this on my channel and I'm talking about the token, people are going to take it as financial advice, right? So like, are you coming to me as a friend or are you coming as someone who's trying to learn more about the project, right? So if you're trying to learn more about the project, I'm going to give you very conservative estimates. If you're my buddy and we've been friends for years and you say, hey, should I do this? I'm going to tell you to YOLO your life savings into it, just like I did, right? Like, because I can say that because you're my... What the fuck? There's no way. What just happened? What? Oh my God. Sorry, guys. I got to take... What? I got to take a picture of this. Oh my God. Dude, Austin, you're crazy, man. Oh, I don't even know what to say right now. Oh my God. Austin, thank you so much, man. Holy crap. Austin with the $500 donation. Amazes me how much free time you guys dedicate to covering this investment. Many thanks. You guys strengthen the community leaps and bounds. Dude, I'm shaking right now. That is crazy. You did not have to do that, brother. Thank you so much. Oh my God. How do I pin this? How do I my God, Austin, thank you. Oh my God. Could you imagine I'm clicking on the options right now and it's like my options are report, remove, or put this user in timeout. Could you imagine someone donating you $500 and being like, no, you're in a timeout, bro? Dude, Austin, I think it just stays up there. I don't even think I need to pin it. I think it just stays up there. Oh my God, Austin. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. And Randy, whoa indeed. Whoa indeed. Holy cow, man. Giovanni, yeah. Whoa indeed, man. And Aveni, thank you so much for the subscription, man. Sorry guys, that flustered me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little frazzled right now. Oh my God, Austin. Absolute legend, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mike says lunch on you tonight, buddy. For those of you that don't know, I do work with Mike, and yeah, I think yeah, that's might have to look at least getting a round of coffees or something for sure. That's incredible. That is incredible. Crazy. Okay, okay. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. I know. This is crazy. Okay. I've just. Oh my God. Okay. How do you continue? Okay. Tom says tier 1 should be 100K, tier 2 1 million, tier 3 10 million or 15 million. See, Tom, I agree with you in principle. It sounds good, but once we pull up the article again, remember. There's only 15% of people that hold 1 million OMI tokens. To buy 1 million OMI tokens right now is $7,000. So if you do that, what you're actually doing, as silly as it sounds, is remember that there's only 10% of OMI above, or 15% of OMI above 1 million. So you actually have 85% of OMI that's lower than that. So you're actually disenfranchising a ton of people that would likely stake that are not going to stake now because they can't afford it. So I actually think, it's like, would you rather fight like 100 little chickie size whatever, or one life size bear? It's like, you're almost better to have the 100 chickies in this point all staking their OMI, because it's an average at that point, right? Like if one whale unstakes all their OMI, then that's a lot more OMI entering circulation than if you have 100 smaller people staking a little bit of OMI, because if one of them unstakes, it doesn't nearly have as much impact. So I hear what you're saying, but it actually doesn't have as much of an impact as you might think. But I hear what you're saying about tiers. And that's why I'm a little concerned, because in principle, I hear what you're saying, but it doesn't make sense. And that's why I'm worried. But we should incentivize the larger holders. I actually threw out an idea last time saying that you could essentially give like to the top 10 OMI stakers. Like if you stake over 1 billion OMI, you get one collectible every drop for free. Like automatically. It's assigned randomly. So like whether it be the highest level rarity, you get it. Like, or maybe not like 10 or whatever, but like you get entered into a lottery if you're high staked, and it's like an exclusive lottery. It doesn't cost you anything. You have your OMI staked, and you get either like the rarest collectible or the lowest collectible for whatever. And it incentivizes the biggest OMI whales to really stake their OMI tokens, or give them land for free. Like give them a solid plot of land for free, but they have to lock up their tokens for X period of time or something. There's like a ton of options, but it's it's interesting. Pavli says, so basically if we're receiving 1,000 points a day is good. And that sounds really good to me, but I haven't even broken down the full numbers yet. So it might be good. It might not be good. I'm not sure. Anonymous says, Gary Vee retweeted Hello Kitty's NFTs article yesterday and never said anything about Disney NFTs, WTF. I think, and someone, Taps made a video on it. He brought up a great point. I think it has something to do with an NDA that they have with Vivi. I think that they're partnered with Vivi, and he can't really say anything too much, but he did talk about Immutable, which had technically nothing to do with Vivi, but because they're migrating to Immutable, maybe. Yeah, it's Hello Kitty, for those of you that don't know, is going on the Recur platform, which, I mean, I can even pull it up. I have no problem giving them a platform, because I looked it up last night. I was like, what is this thing? So this is their website. Okay. Right. And then if we're gonna, just for reference, this is Vivi's website. Right? And I'm not saying one's better than the other. Just giving a perspective, right? Like this is one website. This is Recur's website. So I think that they likely have like 2D sticker type NFTs with Hello Kitty. And I think that that's like their driving point, which is why they've announced it. Hello Kitty will be big for Vivi when we do get it. But like we've even seen videos from 2018 of Hello Kitty characters being in 3D augmented reality on Vivi. Like to me, it's not a matter of if we have Hello Kitty, it's when it's announced. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Gary Vee is probably just trying to promote different projects in the ecosystem, which he's always been steadfast on something being important to him. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with him tweeting that out. I think when we get the media push for Vivi, it is going to be legendary. Like it's just going to be absolutely nuts. It's going to be crazy. Kurt says Foster for Vivi versus Mayor shirt. Yeah, that was a running joke for those of you guys that are watching right now that don't know. That was an inside joke that I was going to be elected the mayor of the Vivi verse or whatever, which I thought was hilarious. And with great power comes great responsibility. I was gonna say with great honor comes great responsibility. I don't know what's going on anymore, guys. I'm still frazzled by that donation. So no, Pavle says it perfectly. No reason to look at the OMI price until we get a major exchange. Crip says, just joined. Foster, have you guys discussed the up to 6 points for Secret Rare comic? We discussed it a little bit, but not at length. I'm actually going to reprioritize that in a moment because it is an important conversation for anyone that's watching or listening to this back afterwards. So we will touch on that in a moment. I'm not looking at my OMI price until I see my balance is 1 million plus. Hey, man. You got to have goals. Pavley says everyone knows about BTC. I bought BTC at 19 cents back in 2010. Woo! I hope that you're still holding some of it. Holy cow. Grey Hoodie says thoughts on low store rating 2.6 on Google Play. That is not a good first impression for new users. Yeah, I mean, I will say, definitely some issues with bots over Decon and Disney drops. I think definitely caused some issues. And I think that, I think that definitely hurt some of the ratings on that. At the same time, there's a lot of large companies that have like 3-star ratings or lower. So I wouldn't read too much into it. I'll be honest with you. Like if it's a free app and someone tells me about it that I trust, I'm going to download it. And if I like it, I like it. I don't. I don't really care what random people on the internet say. But for new people that are coming in, they may look at the ratings and be like, oh, I don't know. But at the same time, like I don't see that being a catalyst to mass adoption, at any point soon. And thank you so much again, Austin, for that $500 donation. I'm just getting to it again now. That's crazy, man. I'm actually, just because of that, I'm actually ordering Uber Eats right now because I refuse to get off to eat food. We're going to keep this conversation going as long as possible. I do work in a few hours, but no, I'm committed to the Omi fam, and you guys deserve the best that I can give. And whether that means I got to spend a couple dollars here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Ooh, Broadways. That's what we're doing. Okay, so let's see what else. Vivi just tweeted that they'll discuss the Secret Rare skateboard tonight. Ludwig put out. Just so that you guys know, some people ran into some issues with the Secret Rare Lincoln Design Co. Skateboard being delivered. The team has been working on it. Myself and a couple other content creators reached out to them about it. They're aware of the issue. I'm not going to speak on it too much because it's not my place. Obviously, they can make an official announcement with whatever they have. So we'll see what they come up with. I hope that it's a good solution for whoever was disenfranchised for it. I just do want to caution people, and this is not to ostracize anyone that got the Secret Rare skateboard, but like, I know a couple people were like, oh, like I got ripped off because I could have sold it at $15,000. That skateboard was never worth $15,000. Like, I'm sorry. It just wasn't. I know people bought it just based on the low edition number and they FOMO'd into it. That skateboard is not worth $15,000. It doesn't have a fandom associated with it. Not to say that people don't like skateboards. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, that money could be earmarked for much better use. I do believe that they'll be fairly compensated, but I heard some people throwing around the idea of like, compensate me with my Secret Rare and a Secret Rare of equal value for another drop. Like, I don't see them doing that. I do see them giving you some form of compensation, but just don't, like, keep your expectations low. That way you'll be pleasantly surprised versus expecting the world, because then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Ollie Bear says people will pay to hear passion. Apparently I need to get more passionate more often, but no, it's crazy. And then just all the reactions of everyone. Austin is the man. That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Immediately invest in premium VV NFTs. Yeah. I don't think you guys realize, but YouTube, I think, pays you out once a month, and you don't just get to pull it out that quickly. But I hear you. Yeah, everyone, thank you for giving love to Austin in the chat. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, he's a savage. Mike, thanks for the donation. Appreciate that. What is your IG? I don't even really use Instagram, man. I need to start branching out more in socials. Like I said, I'm not that type of guy that has like a big, that focuses on like having a big social media following. I really very much do need to focus on that a little bit more. Once I set one up, I'll definitely link it in my description. Once I have it. But yeah. Megalodon says, Foster, you are the guy. Here for your first dono ever and the biggest. Dope. Thanks, Giovanni. I appreciate that. Edward says, if I tip 500, something needs to come off. Hey, brother, I'm wearing socks and a sweater. The sweater can come off. I don't think you want anything off any further than that. Trust me. But, Goose says a down payment on a Spider-Man secret rare. You guys are ruthless, man. Justin says Google gets 200. Yeah, they get a percent. I don't know what it is exactly. I've never been cashed out from YouTube before. I only recently got monetized. But either way, it's honestly, it's the thought. Like whether you donate $200, $500, $1 million, obviously the more money, it's like, it's crazy but anyone that wants to donate their hard-earned money to me, I'm going to appreciate it either way. Like I don't want you to feel as though that's not the case. So, the Robel says, my only eagerness for Omi to move is so I can rebuy all the Cardano I sold. That has better gains, so I'd have less Cardano than I would have. Yeah, Cardano's done well. I know a couple people that sold a lot of Cardano to get into Omi. I think long-term, Omi will be a better investment than Cardano, but I also don't think that there's anything wrong with diversification. Tom says, wouldn't most people be able to afford the 100K level though? That's only $720. I think a lot of VV users have money. I agree with you in premise that $720 might be something that a lot of people can afford, but a lot is also relative, right? Like there's a lot of people that may only be able to afford $100 to invest or whatever, and they don't want to lock all of that up into staking. On top of that, you also need to remember that that's $720 right now, but by the time the program is actually announced and is available to the public, like that might be the point that a lot of people try and buy in Omi because they just don't know about it yet, right? So like, what's the price of Omi at that point? Because if Omi's at 2 cents, well, then it's $2,000. And then is that as reasonable? I don't know the answer, right? Like we'll have to wait and see the article that they release and then kind of make the determination as a fan. But it's interesting for sure. Rebel says, regarding the Omi staking, 1 million plus is okay in my opinion because we aren't even known and no exchanges. The wallet holding percent will all change as we get known. I agree, but what you also have to remember is that like the staking won't be indefinite, right? So like right now, let's say it costs 100K for the first level for Omi, right? But then what happens if Omi goes to $1? Well, you can't have the first level be $100,000, right? So like it needs to be able to fluctuate as Omi price increases. So we need to be mindful of that because at the end of the day, what we want is everyone to be able to stake their Omi. It's great to say, hey, let's get all the big guys to stake Omi. But then once again, you're not locking up enough of the liquidity. Like let's block up as much liquidity as we can in staking. So let's give as many incentives to as many people as possible to lock up their tokens. And maybe you give people that lock up a lot more advantages because they own a lot more tokens, and that's fine. But like to just say like, hey, if you have under 100,000 tokens, we don't want you staking. Well, as we know, 50% of the people that currently hold Omi have less than 100,000 Omi. So you're basically saying to the bottom 50% of people, we don't want your money. And I don't think that that's a smart mass market business decision when they're looking to get as much Omi locked up as possible. DW says, where can we see this Omi holders table? Shout out to Jason Cologne once again. Definitely follow him on Twitter. He has the tables. He posts them on his Twitter. Me and him have had some private talks about improving and iterating the process. But yeah, he does a great job of putting them together. So definitely check those out. Tom says they should add more tiers for staking. There should be a super beginner friendly level and a super high level tier prioritizing the top 1% of holders. I completely agree. Hello Kitty is enormous, recurs like Quid. VV is going to get Pokemon 100%. A lot of thoughts. So Pavle, I agree. I think they already have Pokemon, similarly to how they had Disney back in 2018, and we didn't find out about it until this year. I think they have Pokemon. It's not a matter of if, but when they announce it. Recurs like Quid, possibly. Yeah, I think so in the sense of like they produce like digital stickers and different items. VV has exclusive rights to the type of IP that they produce. So I'm not saying that they would be the only person to ever have Marvel, but they'll be the only company to ever have Marvel 3D digital collectibles. Another company may come along and have Marvel stickers or Marvel t-shirts or Marvel playing cards or whatever, but they will never have the same thing that Omi has, or VV has, sorry. When Scooby-Doo would be awesome. There's so many fandoms that they can bring in. It's crazy. Vladimir says Recur doesn't even have a product yet. That's what I'm saying, right? Like they're using Hello Kitty to leverage their brand, which is perfectly fine. They were able to sign on with that, and I have absolutely no problem with that. Like I think you should want to encourage everyone in the space, and that's totally okay. But at the same time, it's not worth, if you want to go buy and recur, but I don't think it's going to take away any business from what VV has going right now. Megalodon says you can get it anyway in Marketplace if you have a billion OMI. You're already a millionaire. Don't need to stake those in order to get a collectible for free, in my opinion. What do you think? Well, that's why it can't just be about collectibles. I completely agree with you. It's going to have to be exclusive type of land in the VV-verse. So whether it be like an estate area that you can only buy in if you have a specific amount of OMI staked, or whether it be, I threw around the idea of having like in City Hall, having like a wall of fame, so that it's like the main area that you load into when you go into the VV-verse, and people see like their names like permanently ingrained in City Hall as like a memorial for like staking that much OMI. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to remember that legacy means a lot to a lot of people. So if they could stake their OMI and get some of those features where they're recognized, that recognition sometimes goes a longer way than the money. Like you said, if they have a billion OMI, they're not necessarily concerned about making another $10,000. They're already rich. So giving them that exclusivity and that, platform is sometimes worth more. Michael Burns, thank you so much for the donation, brother. I appreciate that. Is there any issues or pitfalls, big or small, that you can see in the project short or long term, such as another platform, lawsuits, losing of licenses, internal disputes, etc.? Great question, and thanks again for the donation. Yes, there is. And once again, I think it's important to discuss these things, right, guys? Like, we can talk about how awesome the project is, and Real Talk actually made a comment right before Michael did the donation. Like, are you a VV maximalist? I very much believe in the project, and I do believe that it will be successful, but I'm also acutely aware of the fact that the project isn't perfect and has a lot of speed bumps that they need to overcome. So one of the biggest issues that I think that they need to overcome is the issue with bots. With the amount of editions that are being dropped, based on how much, like how many editions of collectibles are being dropped, we're going to run into an issue where there's so many bots relative to the amount of editions that if they don't improve it, the only way that people will be able to purchase it on the secondary market. And I think for a lot of people, it's going to take away from the value that is inherent in collecting in the primary market. Like, a lot of people love to compete for that. So I think if they don't address the bot issue, I think that will become a problem at some point. I think that they are actively working on it, but I do see bots in the short term. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I was very frustrated with Decon. Not because I couldn't get a drop. Like, yeah, like I'm not naive to believe that, hey, it's 888 editions, I deserve to get it. That's not what I'm saying. What I was annoyed with is with the new app update, you can see the names of people that have listed collectibles in the marketplace. And there was a lot of these 888 edition drops that had like 5 or 10 from the same account. And it was like, okay, like seriously, like that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And obviously in the Disney drops, I picked up a lot of those in the secondary market. I spent quite a bit of money on that because I understood the value in the collectibles long term, but I wasn't happy about knowing that bots were acquiring multiples and I was having to go out and spend more money because of the bots. I have no problem losing to fair competition. What I have an issue with is losing to people that have an unfair advantage. So, that's one of the issues I see. The other issue that I see is just the scaling of the project. Like, they've always been playing catch up since the beginning of this year. The app took on a life of its own and has become a lot more popular a lot quickly than what they thought it would be. For those of you that don't know, we have over 1 million downloads on the app and over several 100,000 active users. So if they're not able to scale the app properly on Immutable, it's going to delay adoption of the app because we're going to run into, glitchy drops and things of that nature, and people are going to struggle with that. So I see that being a problem. I don't necessarily see another platform or a lawsuit coming in because I feel like they're really focused on doing everything regulatory compliant. They have a team of lawyers that they work with to make sure that they're making all these decisions. It's part of the reason that they paused buybacks. They wanted to make sure that they weren't going to be classified as a security with the SEC. So I don't see a lawsuit or anything like that happening. I do see other platforms coming into the space. We were just talking about Recur, Quid, but they're not doing the same product. Like, once again, like I'm not going to say Quid is competition for Vivi because Quid produces stickers. Like, if you love stickers, you're going to go buy stickers. If you love 3D collectibles, you're going to go buy on Vivi. if anything, one gives the other more of a platform to grow. And I think, they'll all work together to grow as a community. I don't see another platform coming in and being immediate competition. I do see some major licenses doing their own thing rather than signing with VV. And I think that will be disappointing for investors if they, let's say hypothetically, they don't have Pokemon for some reason and Pokemon does their own thing or whatever. I think that would be a disappointment because we've always assumed that we've had Pokemon. But I would argue that just based off of Disney IP alone, the app could never drop another type of brand and the app would still be extremely successful. Final thing, losing licenses. The licenses are obviously exclusive for the periods of time in which they have them in. And then obviously the licensors reserve the right to move on to another company. What other company is going to exist at that time that is going to be doing half of what VV is doing? I don't know because I can't see into the future. But once again, think about the amount of money that VV has made all of these licensors already, especially the independent artists and stuff. Why would they ever go anywhere else? Especially now that, licensor royalties in the secondary marketplace are coming in. This is a cash cow for a lot of these companies. I don't know why they would go anywhere anytime soon. So that's my thoughts on that. Once again, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Over 100 likes, Kaser points out. Oh, beauty, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the likes, guys. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. Kevin says, what's your price predictions for Omi in 6 to 12 months? I'm going to go conservative because I hate giving price predictions just based off of nothing other than the question. I will say 3 to 5 cents by the end of Q1 2022. And by fall of next year, it could be less if we hit a bear market and we don't have enough catalysts pushing it forward. Or it could be anywhere between 6 to 10 cents maybe. Those are very conservative price predictions in my mind with all the things that we have coming. But like I said, I would rather be conservative and have you be pleasantly surprised than sell you the moon and then have you be disappointed. People have to remember when you give a $1 price prediction and then the price goes to 70 cents, you're still disappointed because it didn't go to $1. That's human psychology, right? So I would rather give you absolute worst case, 2 to 5 cents type thing, and then have it be more because then you're pleasantly surprised. Oh, wow, it outdid your price prediction. Foster, great job. It's yes, but there's a reason behind that. And that's why you'll never see any, in my videos, and not, because I know a lot of people are going to take it this way, not a shot at Cavell Anderson, but that's the reason that I will never put $1 price prediction in any of my videos or whatever. The only video that I've ever done was $5, $10, $50 Omi, what you need to know, so that people would click on it to see the catalyst that would actually be needed for that. I'm never going to do that, right? Unless it's based off of technical analysis and I can support it directly. Tom says, I sold all my Cardano. I got in at 6 cents and $2 goal on Omi. That's crazy, man. That's a crazy profit. So what'd you make there? You made a 33x. That's crazy, man. Good for you. That's fantastic. Bert says, shave your head, slapshine bald for that 500. Oh boy. I don't know that my wife would be too happy about that one. I don't know. It's a decent thought though. Yeah, you can't do anything with Cardano right now. Exactly. I will only stake with my Omi. Yep. Any updates on the Omi Homie poker game? Jeff, thank you so much for bringing that out because I completely forgot about that. So for those of you that don't know, on Poker Stars, I created a home game for everyone. And I've been looking at putting it together. It's just, I've just been so busy with family and trying to make content for everyone that I haven't had the time to focus on it. But if anyone is interested in the chat, hit me up on Twitter. Don't hit me up in the chat here because I'm just going to lose your thing or whatever. I will put out a tweet after this, just updating everyone. Hey, if you're interested in the home game, here's the link. Sign up for it. And maybe next weekend, because I work this weekend, I'm off next weekend. Maybe I'll look at putting something together next weekend and we'll get a game going with everyone. So if you guys are interested in playing poker and you have access to Poker Stars, download it and then you'll get the invite link from me to the home game, to the Omi Homies. And we'll definitely look at doing something like that for sure. Pavley says, what is interesting is the AMA with David Yu and the CEO of Wax was dope. Look at Wax, price, and 6 million collectors, hoping VV gets this traffic and gets close to the price of Wax would be dope. I think it's definitely possible, right? I think that as you start to see more things roll out, and as VV starts to use more tools in their toolkit, you will start to see more people, come out with that. So, real talk. Yes, I am a VV Maximalist, but we've gone over that. Marcus says, for fun, what other products verticals do you think will come? Obviously sports, but opportunity for music, concerts. David mentioned Mona Lisa, so maybe fractional NFTs or one-of-one art pieces. One-of-one art pieces are going to be absolutely huge. And for those of you that don't know, it's going to burn so much OMI. It's going to be absolutely insane when people are competing for that type of stuff. I'm very excited for it. So there's that. I think that we know sports, probably NFLPA is going to come. See, here's the thing. Here's what people need to remember. I'm also ordering food at the same time. So I apologize if I look a little bit distracted, but I need to make sure that I get food in me before work. Or, chicken fingers and fries. Guys, we're going big here. We're going big. This is courtesy of everyone that gave a donation today, and even anyone that didn't. That's just with me right now. Let's do this. Let's see how much this is going to cost me when we factor in delivery costs, because that's what's painful. Oh, I'm definitely giving you a 25% tip, my guy. For sure. You deserve it. Spread the wealth. Ordered. Easy. All right. So back to what we were at here. Okay. So one-of-ones are going to be massive, right? Like if you can buy the digital Mona Lisa, that's going to sell more than for the actual Mona Lisa. Like someone will pay $1 billion for it. You guys think I'm crazy. You're like, oh my God. But like, think about it. You can never own the actual Mona Lisa. That's going to be in a museum. So if you can own the officially licensed digital Mona Lisa from the Louvre, like that's going to be worth just, so much money. And as someone that's been to Paris and has been to the Louvre and has seen the Mona Lisa and saw how many people were around it, people will pay up the you-know-what for it, like 100%. One-of-ones will do well. Low mint collectibles that have physical counterparts. So we know Ron English is releasing a rabbit grin that has a physical statue as well. So we know that is coming. So that's coming. Sports, this is what I was talking about. What people need to understand is they look at sports and they say, it's not possible for us to have the NFLPA because Dapper Labs has it. Or it's not possible to have the NBA because NBA Top Shots have it. What you guys need to remember, similarly to how Quid and Vivi can both have the Marvel license but be producing different products, Dapper Labs is producing moments for the NFL and moments on NBA Top Shots. Those are actual clips that people can buy. That's what you're buying. You're not buying characters. You're not buying you're not buying any of that stuff. You're buying video moments. There's absolutely no reason why the NFLPA cannot release player statues with the permission of the NFL if they come with a joint license. If Dapper Labs can get the NFLPA and the NFL, there's no reason why Vivi can't get both of them combined to release your favorite players in their official uniforms as 3D statues. There's absolutely no reason why you can't have that. Same thing in the NBA. No reason. Same thing for baseball. Same thing for hockey. There's absolutely no reason why they cannot do those things. So just remember that it is definitely a possibility because it doesn't infringe or encroach on the other licensing. And that's the important thing to keep in mind. So I do see that kind of stuff happening for sure. Only Child need a US poker friendly site. I know. So what I'm going to do is do one on PokerStars and then I'm going to do another one on because the problem is like America's Card Room is like only accessible to like certain people as well, right? And like 888 like is only accessible to certain people. So, I'm not saying use a VPN because I would never recommend using a VPN, but we'll look at some options. And Kurt, thank you so much for the donation, man. You're in. I don't know how you do it. You seem to have more free time than me. You are always in all of my streams and always giving me support. I so much appreciate it. So thank you so much. But yeah, we'll figure out the poker thing. We will figure out the poker thing. Will the Disney NFTs drop when they announce Pokemon? Everything will drop when they announce Pokemon. Everyone is going to sell everything to buy Pokemon. Are you kidding me? Like Randy Chavez is already selling his Disney moments in anticipation of a Pokemon announcement, and nothing has been even remotely confirmed yet. 100% collectibles will go down, but then the people that have the money will buy them back up, and when you don't land on the Pokemon drop, you'll buy it back up, and that's we see it time and time again. We saw it with Marvel Month. We saw it with Disney Week. Like these things happen cyclically, and if you have the opportunity to take advantage of it and you have the gems in your account, you get some pretty good deals. Let's see here. Should we play with Omi? I thought about that, but like even if we play with 1,000 Omi, like that could be $1,000 one day, and like that stresses me out. Like I was thinking we just do like a $5 or an $11 home game. It's more about hanging out with the homies, right? Like it's not about like raking your buddies over the coals. It's just about hanging out, and it's another avenue that we can look at pursuing. So yeah. J-Man says once Omi hits the big exchanges, it's going to explode. Yeah. Like you look at the numbers just from a Binance or a Coinbase listing, they call it the Binance effect. It goes up generally, the average is 90% for within 24 hours of a token listed on their platform. Now, obviously it will retrace afterwards as well, but once people have access to the token, access will drive price action, in my opinion. Epic says great content and productions, Mr. Hilt. Oh, thank you. Feels so formal. Mr. Hilt. Mr. Hilt is my father. No. The Gale says Foster to the moon. Thank you so much, Gale. For those of you guys that don't know, the Gale has a YouTube channel. Super OG in the community. I actually owe my mindset and the way that I approach YouTube a lot to him. I started a channel and he made a comment, a week after about content creators focusing on the quality of the content rather than, wanting people to watch it and stuff. And I commented because I thought he was taking a shot at one of the videos that I put out, which is just childish of me. Like, I'll be honest, I can admit it. I have no problem, right? And we ended up having like a nice conversation and super down-to-earth guy. And he's like, dude, this is what you need to focus on. Like, focus on, providing quality content. And if the community finds it valuable, they'll come. And so shout out to the Gale, man. Like I really appreciate what you did. And I actually reached out to him last night and thanked him privately, but he's here. So I'll thank him publicly as well. Cause I think the important thing is never forget where you came from, right? Like don't be that guy that thinks he's, big stuff and is too big for everyone. Like I appreciate everyone, regardless of whether you're watching now, watching it back afterwards, donating, not donating, whatever. Like I appreciate everyone. It's a great community and I just want to do my part to continue to build the community. So, Megalodon says, hey Foster, in your opinion, which blue chips VV collectibles will be the most valuable in the long-term period of time? Out of the collectibles that have been released already, I put out a tweet about this yesterday, so I'll just reiterate it. I'm not going to talk about comics because I don't know enough about comics. There are definitely, I know that there's 3 that Comics and Crypto talk about, the Comics Crypto podcast. You should definitely check them out as well. The Marvel Comics #1, obviously. It's the most expensive comic on VV right now. Amazing Spider-Man #1 is included in his list. I also own it, full disclosure, but that is on it. And then Fantastic Four I don't remember the number, but it's whatever one is the most expensive on the marketplace right now. Those 3 are classified as the holy trinity of the collectibles that are on right now. And then the Fantastic Four that was released today apparently is a top 10. So I see those going up quite a bit. I'm holding my Spider-Man until it goes to about 40 or 50K, and then I'll probably sell it. Or, if someone wanted to like trade me like a Walt and something else for it, like maybe I would do that because they found the comic book valuable. But hey, actually, yeah, if you guys want to trade me a Walt or something for the Walt and something else for the comic book, let me know. But yeah, so in regards to actual collectibles themselves, I see the Todd McFarlane Batman will do well over time because it is the first collectible that was ever minted on VV. That whole first set will do well, the Rizzo as well. I think part of the issue with it right now is that there's too many OGs that hold like 10 or 20 of them. So the demand for it isn't there right now. It hasn't been put into enough hands to really show its true value. But I think obviously the 2 major collectibles that jump off the page for me are the Secret Rare Spider-Man Ultimate Animated, which for those of you that don't know, I did own and did sell. It's painful. You can watch my video. I put out a video last week, how I lost $15,000 selling VV NFTs. Check that out. Not one of my finer moments. And then the Walt statue. I don't care what anyone says. You can say it has 4,300 editions. It's not going to be worth that much. That will be the showpiece for so many people in their showrooms for years to come. That thing is going to absolutely go parabolic. And maybe not in the short term, but that thing will hit $100,000 one day. 100%. I have absolutely no doubt about it. Public collects on every platform. Smart way to go about it, man. Smart way to go about it. Secret Rares gives 6 points per day. Thoughts? Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning of the stream. That's it sounds like a lot, but remember that, unless you get it on the drop, if you're paying the premium that Secret Rares demand, you kind of deserve to get some points for it, or else why are you going to bother collecting it, right? Like why are you going to collect a crummy Secret Rare? And the problem is from VV's perspective and from my perspective, like not all Secret Rares are created equal. So if they're not created equal, how do you justify the higher price point for some of them? So that's the tough thing. Yob says someone bid 888K on a Walt statue. Oh my God. What was the, what was the edition number for it? Let me know what the edition number was for it. That's crazy. Tapim, thank you so much for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Nova says, man, it's so complicated to buy Omi, especially since I'm in Canada. It can be complicated. Shameless plug again. Check out how to buy Omi. It's a video on my YouTube channel from about a week and a bit ago. You can use what's called BitBuy, which is a Canadian exchange. I include the links for BitBuy and Bitforex. Long story short, you buy crypto on BitBuy, you transfer over to Bitforex, you consolidate it into USDT, and then you buy Omi. I break it down step by step, give you all everything you need to know about it, but that is essentially how you would do it. It's definitely possible in Canada. And if you deposit $250 or more using my link, we both get $20. So, hey, why not, right? Megalodon, the Gale VVOG guys. Yeah, 100%. Put respect on the man's name. He's a legend. J-Man says it too. 100%. Erg says, are people getting confused with MTL? MTL equals gems to fiat, right? Or is gems to Omi as well? No. So that's a good question. Gems to Omi will never be a thing because gems are underpinned by Omi. So you can't go Omi to Omi, right? Like it wouldn't make sense. So initially in 2018, like they wanted that, but what they've done now is instead of Omi to gem, which you also cannot do, you can go Omi to NFT direct. So what that means is you will be able to buy Omi for gems. Now, when I say you won't be able to go Omi to gem, I mean the MTL may be able to facilitate you selling Omi on the exchange for fiat, and then you buy gems with that fiat, but I don't think it'll be a direct transaction. And then MTL will be gem to fiat. So it'll be whatever your local currency is. So that will be coming, and that is how that's going to work. Pavley for sure, man. We'll figure out a way. We'll figure out a way to get PokerStars to work for people that don't live in the US. We'll find some cheeky way. We're just playing a home game, right? So it's no one's gonna report you or do anything crazy. Like we're all fam here. Like the only people that are joining are the Omi fam, right? So we'll find a way to get you guys in, and then I'll try and find another site. I did look, and there wasn't a site that accommodated everyone, which was tough. J-Man says buying in the secondary market after the drop is still a steal. Definitely, and it depends when you buy in the drop, and it depends what you're buying, right? Like, I believe pretty much every single collectible, without question, will go up over time on the app. But at the same time, like I said, I bought an Iron Man for $540 the day the drop came out. I FOMO'd into it because I saw what happened with the Mickey hat and how it didn't have a correction, it just kept going up. So I didn't want to make that same mistake with Iron Man. So I bought it, went all the way down to 280. Didn't end up buying another one because I wanted to save gems for the rest of the drops. And now Iron Man's over $540. So yeah, it sucks that I overpaid for it, but it's still worth more than what I paid for it. So it's a balance, and I completely agree. Pegs is definitely going to be playing poker for sure. I've already spoken to him about it. I actually messaged him privately to see if he was interested. Michael says, also, I'm invested in Omi collectibles, and I do believe in the project. It's good to hear, brother. Honestly, man, see, but this is what's important, right? Like, you don't need to preface that. Like, your donation, is there any shortcomings for the project that we need to focus on? There are shortcomings. So why am I going to sit here and sell you a bag of goods? No, man, the project's perfect. You don't understand it. You're dumb. You don't like, no, it's 100% a valid question. And if you have the question, other people have that question too. It's important to understand your entire investment and all the catalysts that play into it, positive or negative, because if you don't have that perspective, then, it's benefit. It's good. I think it's great that you're doing that. Dividend says, I bought the Secret Rare Labbit for 800 because Secret Rares give 6 points per day. It's good, but remember, don't make too many, Secret Rare prices are going to go insane. I agree with you, but don't make any rash decisions because they still could lower it again, right? So don't go off, if you have the money and you want to buy it anyways, do it, but don't go off selling a bunch of collectibles that may actually end up being more valuable at the end of the day just because one has a Secret Rare tag on it. Akins, what's going on, man? Pavley says, love UFO. I'm not sure what this is relating to, but that's okay. Michael says, would love to see Nike shoes. That'd be cool. I know Nike's doing their own platform, so I don't know that we'll get a chance to see that or not. But I'll keep my fingers crossed. It's definitely possible. Someone will be more than happy to swap 1,000 ETH for the Mona Lisa NFT. 100% Megalodon. That's what I'm saying. People buy rocks for 100, like rocks that have a different shade of color on them for 100 ETH. There's no way that someone's not going to spend 1,000 ETH on the Mona Lisa. 100%. And you got to remember that transaction, as with every other transaction, burns the OMI token. Oh, I love UFO. That must be a platform. I'm thinking of UFO as like a spaceship. Because you're saying they don't have 3D though. That must be another platform. I'm not UFO. I know of TVK. I don't know what UFO is. Interesting. Adam says, I've seen the Mona Lisa. Amazing experience. It was crazy, but here's the only issue with technology. I went and saw the Mona Lisa, and I was too busy trying to take like a GoPro video of me looking at the Mona Lisa. I cannot actually remember looking at the Mona Lisa. Because you're so focused on capturing the moment rather than living in the moment, which is why I think people need to zoom out, right? Like we're so immersed in this project and people are like, oh, the OMI token went down 2%. Oh my God, it's the end of the world and stuff. It's like, zoom out. Like, remember, like this experience is once in a lifetime. So, yeah. Novus is why it's so hard to buy OMI in Canada. It's not that it's so hard, but once again, like I said, check out my video and it's not that hard. At least for me, it's not. It's not that it's time consuming. It's not hard. So if you want to equate time value to difficulty, then yes, it's not as quick as opening up Robinhood and one swiping or whatever. But it's not difficult if you understand the process. Goran says, "You still on? Wow, man, amazing energy, awesome." Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I did order food, so I don't know where it's at in the delivery process. So I might, because I do work at 5 o'clock. And so I would like to, at some point go and eat food, but we're going to keep going strong for now until my food gets here. J-Man says all the CRs have been pumping all day. Yes, they have. And I think they will continue to pump, but at the same time, once again, caveat, don't just buy it for the points. Buy it because you like it. Pavlik says I have a few billion full send coin. Oh God. Is that from, those guys? Oh, I don't remember that. The Nelk boys? Is that their coin? Jeez. Gail, yeah, makes an awesome staking video. Yeah, the Gail makes great content. That's what I'm saying. There's so many content creators, and I love that I can kind of talk to other people about those content creators and kind of pay it forward, because there's a lot of people that were, instrumental in my success. So if I can drive you towards anyone that I think is going to provide you value, I would love to be able to do that. Pavley says the Walt Disney. Oh my God. What's the price right now? I haven't looked yet. Let me know what's going on. How much do you think the NFT market will dip with MTL? We talked about this already. It really just depends if OMI to NFT is already in or not. If OMI to NFT is in, then more money will be coming in than what is leaving, in my opinion. If it's not, I do see it dipping quite a bit. I know Michael says, I know they're working on interface for computers web. Do you think the app will eventually go to consoles? 100% it will. So Disney Plus has already said that they want to make that the platform for the metaverse. So if Disney Plus, which you can access on your computer and your TV through PlayStation and whatever, like why wouldn't you be able to do the exact same thing with an integration with the VV app? 100%. I 100% see that happening. Where are we at with things? Pavley says, I'm so happy we have this. Thank you so much. Never stop creating content. You have the goods. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Like, I'm grateful that people want to watch what I have putting out, and I'm grateful that I have so many people in the community that I can utilize and lean on for resources. Like, you guys teach me as much as I teach you anything, right? Like, it's a give and take, and that's what I love about the community. So, Vladimir says, I have a hunch we will be done with Immutable on the 22nd Monday, but don't tell anyone. Oops. I think it's going to be done next week as well. I think you're right, but I can't, we'll see. Tom says, my best flip recently was the Silver Ape, Little Friends. Bought at $350 on the secondary market and sold for $1,097 a few days ago. Great profit, man. Congratulations. I know people are trying to create like the VV Ape Yacht Club, the VAYC. If you guys are curious, you can check that out. I personally don't own any of them. It's not my cup of tea, but hey, community is community, right? Anything that brings us together. So check that out. Loki said will jump in price. Yeah, because the secret rare has low additions and it's a secret rare. Yeah, I agree. Damn, someone tipped 500. Yeah, man. Damn, Austin did tip 500. He's a savage, and I absolutely love him for it. Of course, I appreciate every donation, but that one obviously hits a little bit different. So thank you so much for that donation again, Austin. UFO, the truth is a cryptocurrency. Oh, interesting. Superman still undervalued. Yes, I agree. Superman is undervalued, but is it a blue chip that's going to go up as much as some of the other blue chips? I don't know, because it has 8,888 editions and there's already been so much DC content that's been dropped. Superman was an FA of Superman, but it wasn't the FA of DC, whereas Spider-Man was an FA of Marvel and an FA of Spider-Man, which is also a bigger catalyst, I think. So, Annette, how you doing? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for the congratulations on the 4K subs. Annette, I see comments on every one of my videos from you, and I always appreciate the support. So thank you so much for that. Goose, how many sets do you got? I'm going to make a full vault video at some point in the next week, but I'll say that I have around 30 sets. I'm not going to give the exact numbers right now, just because I want to give you a reason to watch the video, right? If I tell you all right now, then you're not going to watch the video. So, but yeah, I got over 200 collectibles in around 30 sets. So it's going to be good for sure. It's going to be a good video. Pavley says Blocktopia, Illuvium, Altura, Atari, Polk Bridge, all potential meta gaming crypto pumping. Yeah. Oh, and an interesting catalyst as well, just so that you guys know, the OMI token itself is not classified as a metaverse token currently, whereas a ton of those tokens that I just read out from Pavley are classified as metaverse tokens. So when Facebook rebranded to Meta and that announcement came out, all of those tokens saw pumps and OMI did not. But that's also partially because it's not advertised as metaverse token. So all of these catalysts, what people like, I would be concerned if the token was at the price that it is now, if we already had all the catalysts that we've been waiting for, right? Like, you have to remember, we have 5% of what we're actually going to have for the token and for the platform. That is why we're at this price right now. I would be far more concerned if we were at this price and we already had MTL, OMI to NFT, the VVverse, all of those things. So you got to put it into perspective. And DW says, when in doubt, zoom out. That's it, brother. That's it. Kurt says, new MCP article shot Golden Ape to 10K. Jesus. It was at like 6.5 already. That's crazy. Because it has like a decent amount of edition numbers, I think, right? It's got like 400 or 500. So it's not like it's super low. Hey, man, all the power. Like, if you guys want to invest, like, I would personally, and nothing against the ape, I would rather own a Walt for 10K than a Golden Ape, personally. But hey, collect your fandom, right? Vladimir says, I will also sell my whole vault of 153 collectibles for OMI. Let me know if interested. Yeah, I see deals like that coming out probably once OMI to NFT comes in for sure. Like, once the accessibility on the app is easier, I could see sales happening of multiple collectibles. Or technically, I think by TOS, you're not allowed to buy someone's account. But if you wanted to individually sell every collectible and someone was willing to pay you for it, I don't think that's against the rules. But yeah, like, I would definitely consider, there's some collectibles that I definitely hold that once OMI to NFT comes out, I will be liquidating for OMI, because I would like to own OMI for sure. And you guys will see it in the vault video. You'll know what collectibles I'm talking about. So, Brendan, no, this is a recording. You're not seeing this live. That was a joke, by the way, guys. I'm still live. Don't take everything I say seriously. Kurt says, do you regret not having invested in Mana instead of OMI? No, because Decentraland, although it's a good project, will not do a tenth of what OMI is going to do. I think the important thing that people need to remember and recognize is there's a difference between short-term gains and long-term investing, right? There are a ton of tokens that I could have invested in that did a lot more than what OMI did over the last 6 months. But I invested in OMI because I understand that it's a good investment long-term and that it's as close to a guarantee to make me money as a guarantee exists. Whereas another project that, I maybe don't understand as well, and not that I don't understand Mana, it's a good project and I understand the premise behind it, but I think that with all of the IP that VV has backing it, and likely with the AAA gaming studios that they have working with them on developing the VVverse, it is going to be 100 times better than Mana ever will be. But yeah, Mana is a good project and has done good things for sure. Energy says, hi friends. Hello. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, OMI will have its moment. It's no rush. Exactly. Kaser's asking if anyone has the Decon mascot. I only have 2 collectibles from Decon. I got 2 out of the 15 drops or whatever it was on collectible. I did get the Lincoln Design Co. rare silver skateboard. And then I got a uncommon ghost, little ghost dude. I don't know what they're called, but I got those 2. Dom Shaw says, hey, I'm new to the project. Is it common practice for people to sell in the secondary market using Omi instead of gems? Great question, Dom. Right now, you cannot sell directly on the marketplace using Omi. That integration does not exist on the platform currently, but people do make deals outside of the app to buy a collectible off of someone for Omi, and someone would generally utilize an escrow service for that, and then they would transfer the collectible to the escrow. The person would send the Omi over to the person, and then the escrow would send the collectible to the other person. Because it's a transfer, there's no fee. I don't know that it's necessarily a fully above board and something that Omi wants people doing. So I'm not going to go out of my way to advertise it. But if you guys, like if it's something that you're considering doing, like reach out to me. I actually acted as an escrow for someone for the first time ever the other night. And it was pretty cool. Like I had never done it before, and it was fun. I got to meet 2 new people in the community that I had never, interacted with at length, and we got to have some good conversations, get to know each other, and, able to complete that transaction for someone of gems for crypto. And it went well, no hiccups. And so yeah, if that's something that any of you guys need, whether you're watching this live or after the fact, you can always reach out to me. Whatever, I can definitely help you out with that, and we can talk about that. So, Annette, thank you so much. Let's see here. Brandon Z says new Holy Trinity numbers 13, 37, 69, and 420. Why 1337? Maybe I'm a boomer. I don't understand that one. You're gonna have to explain it to me. Brendan Z says still no price for Storm Buying Box. It's 50. Was it 50 or $60? I can't remember now. I think it's $50. I think it was $50. Let me check for you right now. Yeah, it's $50. The Storm Blind Box is $50. Oh, Wubba said $50. Like, see, what do I need to read when I got you guys, right? Like, I don't need to do this. I just got you guys. Mana went from 13 cents to $4 as long as I've been in crypto. I could have minted a Bored Ape, but I didn't. Exactly, right? Like, hindsight's 2020. Like, people are going to look back that had the opportunity to buy into Omi in 5 years when Omi is at like 70 cents. And they're going to be like, dude, I could have bought Omi under a penny, right? Like, that's life, right? Like, we can't get into every project. We can't be on the bottom floor of everything. I'm just incredibly grateful to be on the ground floor of the Omi token. It's incredible. Okomi will blow up bigger than Mana. Yeah, 100%. And once again, nothing against Mana. Like this is not meant to be a maximalist thing. It's not meant to say one project's better than the other. Mana's got some good things going for it as well. You should definitely check it out. They've obviously done the land thing long before land was cool. I'm sure Vivi will model some of the things off of Mana. So like, shout out to Mana for all the things they've done for the, the crypto community. But overall, I think Omi, like, you have to remember, Mana was a crappy token, and then Mana shifted and went that you could buy land with Mana, and it like boomed the Mana token. So what is going to happen when you can buy land with the Omi token, right? Like, it's the same premise. It's just a different project. So, yeah. Brendan Z, Ghost Bears to the moon. You already know. Thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate that. Ghost Bears are cool. Yeah, they're funky. Like, yeah, it's cool. And is there an AMA today? Yes. At 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern for me. There is an AMA today, and they will be talking about a bunch of stuff. So it's going to be very interesting. Yeah. K-Star says exactly, what happens to good projects that haven't moved and been stagnant for so long? Exactly. Consolidation before the rocket takeoff, 100%. And DW says, yeah, I wouldn't have gone all in on a project that I don't understand. It feels like a gamble. That's it, right? Like, when I say I went all in, like, I'll make a video on it one day. I mean, you guys can use your own imagination, but like 14 million Omi wasn't cheap, right? So, and I didn't buy at 0.002 either. So remember that. So yeah, I spent quite a bit of money, but I also plan on making quite a bit of money, and I understand the project, and I have no problem putting that amount of money on the line. And once again, shout out to my wife for being supportive. She supported me in doing that. It is our money at the end of the day. So, I keep telling her, I said, you got to be careful, because when Omi makes wife changing money, you're in trouble. No, it's a joke, guys. Don't tell her I said that. Don't tell her I said that. And Pavla, yes, I would do escrow if anyone wanted it in the community. Yeah, you can use me for escrow, man. I don't really know how it works. Like, I've only ever done it once. Like, I know generally, and like, I know it's an icky conversation to have, but like, I know people will generally sometimes tip, but it's not required, like, whatever. I'm not going to go into the specifics of the deal that took place because I don't think it's fair to the people that I did the deal with. I mean, I think they deserve their confidentiality, but they tipped me like way too much. And I told both of them, I said, you don't need to do this. And they're like, no, we want to. And I was like, you guys are crazy. And like, I actively tried to talk them out of it. And they're like, no, it's fine. And I was like, cool. So, don't feel like it's an obligation, but obviously if I can help anyone out, I will. And we can have that conversation privately. You guys can message me on Twitter. My DMs are always open at Foster Hilt. And if anyone needs that escrow, I'd be more than happy to do that for the community because, I love to see people being able to make these deals and come together. So, gold 8 floors, 10K. Wow. Edward, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you own one. Rebel, old school computer number. Oh, okay. I gotcha. In 5 years, only will be a lot. I've got a 2-digit ultra rare ghost bear. Oh man, that's crazy. $50 is cheap for the blind box. I agree. Master Collector Program News is moving all the secret rares, Edward. I agree with that as well. I don't know that the prices will sustain though, so be careful about FOMOing in at the top. I have some concerns about that. DW, I agree. I would rather have a Walt than an Ape as well, but if I had the money for both, it wouldn't hurt to have both. The Gale is a VVOG creator. Thank you for saying I'm a genius in Omi content. I do what I can, right? I do the research and I try and provide as much value as I can. So 4K Showroom 2.0 screams a smart TV app to be a picture frame. 100%. Like, it's going to be absolutely crazy, guys, for sure. Okay, I just got a notification that my food is here, and it is currently 3 degrees outside in my city. 3 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit for you US folks. Either way, it's still very cold. 0 degrees is the freezing point. So I'm going to take off in a sec because I don't want my food to get super cold. And I think we've also been at this for about 3 hours. So I think some of you guys deserve to get a break as well before the AMA tonight. And I do have to go to work. But I'll go through a couple more. And Brendan, if the price stays stable at 7.0, I'll be sneakily snagging at least one a day. Always. Nice. You love those bears. Or those ghosts. That's awesome. The green one looks sweet. Yeah, the green one does look sweet. That was the one that I got. So, you have 420 of the red one. Wait, you have 420 the edition number, or you own 420 of them? Because that's crazy. That's crazy. VV Focus, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Brandon's cornering the market. I love that. Still waiting to get bailed out so I can buy. I vouch for his expertise on escrow. Thank you again, friend. I mean, if you're going to say it, then yeah, perfect. Edward was the one that I helped out. Once again, I always value your guys' privacy, but if you want to say something publicly, I have no problem, whatever. I helped out Edward with an escrow deal. Absolutely fantastic member of the community. It was an honor to get to know him a little bit better, and I was glad I was able to help him out with that. So that's fantastic. Chase has got Elsa 92 here. Price prediction for the next year. Oh god, a sub 100 Elsa. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do a sign off, but I do want to give you this. I'm just looking right now on my phone. I do own an Elsa, so it's easier if I just find it in my collect. It's not. It's easier if I find it in the store. You'd think with the amount of time that I spent on the VV app, I would know how to navigate it better. But all right, Disney Golden Moments. Let's see, 401. So the cheapest one's high 1.1K, almost 2K. But we're gonna look at edition number low to high. So the cheapest sub 100 right now listed on the market is $12,000, and it's $12,000, then $15,000, and then it jumps all the way up to $37,000. So here's what I'll say, Chase. If you can afford to hold off on it, I wouldn't worry about a price prediction. I would worry about waiting to see if those other lower ones sell. And then I would list it maybe somewhere in the 20, 25K range. And I think you could probably likely get that at some point. Not maybe by the end of the year. I think the floor will be up to over 2,000 maybe by the end of the year. But once again, yours is worth so much more than that because of the edition number. Pele says, I send you the NFT, they send you the OMI or currency, and you make sure we get our trade, happily get you a percent. Cool, brother. Yeah, like we can talk about that privately for sure. I have no problem helping out anyone. Like I said, we can definitely figure that out. That's it's awesome that you feel that you can trust in me. You know, it was even crazier when Edward, you know, trusted in me. Like it wasn't a small amount of money. So it was the fact that I've earned that reputation in the community means the absolute world to me. Like it actually kind of flabbergasted me when he approached me with it. So, hey, I feel that. All right. So with that being said, thank you, DW. Brendan, I would drop all of my Master Collector points on Pokemon. That's an absolute no-brainer. Let's cover the Storm drop and then no more comments. I'm not letting you guys. You're misbehaving. You're not letting me go get my food. The Storm drop I think is cool. The reasons that I think it's cool, other than it looks like a really cool character, I talked about it earlier in the stream from a marketing standpoint. Having a female superhero and having a person of color represented on the platform, which someone else pointed out in the chat, is something that is not done outside of maybe I can't even remember his name right now. Oh my god. The guy from Marvel with the wings and what, I can't remember his name right now. I'm tired. But they're the only two minorities that are represented on the app in that regard. So I think this is fantastic from a marketing perspective. I also think that the collectible itself still just looks fantastic. The detail on it is great. I think $50 for a blind box is a steal because it gives you a chance at one of these higher ratings. Like remember that this was $400 when it came out with the Spider-Man and the Captain America. And this is also an FA. Like the Captain America wasn't even an FA. So that's Falcon. Thank you guys. So that's crazy, right? So remember that. Like this is going to go for $2 or $3 grand. This is going to go for 800 to $1,000. This is going to go for 300. This is probably going to go for 100, and this might go for floor or below, right? So you're basically buying into a lottery where if you get in, you either break even, maybe you lose a couple bucks, but you get a collectible regardless that will appreciate long term. Or you win the jackpot and get a secret rare and you either hold it and complete the set for all the points, or you make a ton of money. Guys, 3-hour stream, and I think we actually talked about the MCP for maybe 10 minutes. I'm terrible. I apologize. We didn't actually go over like any of the changes. Like that was the whole point of this stream, but you guys just had such great questions. I will be putting out a video on my thoughts about this hopefully tomorrow, unless OMI Utility Program article comes out tomorrow, in which case that will be the priority for the video tomorrow. But if not, I will put out my thoughts on a video of this for you guys tomorrow. For everyone that's been watching the channel, Ludwig, Kurt, Annette, Kaser, Pavle, J-Man, everyone, you all know who you are. Austin, crazy $500 donation. You're insane, dude. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for the support. Having over 100 people watching me blabber on the internet for 3 hours is not ever something that I anticipated having happen, or having 4,000 subscribers on a YouTube channel. It's great, and I absolutely appreciate it. And I can't wait to see where this project takes all of us moving forward. So with that being said, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel for whatever reason, or you're watching this back because you found my video, please make sure to subscribe to the video, like, and leave a comment down below talking about the favorite thing that you heard in this video, and stay tuned for the Coles Nodes version that I will be releasing at some point. I love you guys. Peace.